Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. Week number 11 of the National Football League begins tonight. The New England Patriots visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's 4-5, dead last in the NFC South. New England, meanwhile, 6-4, thanks to a 4-game winning streak that has some around the league talking a Super Bowl appearance. ESPN's Damian Woody, a guest this morning on Bart and Hahn on ESPN Radio.
They could get there. And I know, there's a lot of people that don't want to hear that, but they can get there. Because the Patriots are doing a lot of the things needed to get there well. They're second in scoring defense. They're really good in red zone defense. They're good in third down defense. They're good in taking away the football on defense.
Patriots and the Falcons kick tonight, beginning just after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. New England 6.5-point road favorite, according to Caesars Sportsbook. Also tonight, Major League Baseball will hand out its final 2 regular season awards, the MVP in both leagues. And should Shohei Ohtani and the Angels win, one bettor out there is going to break the bank at William Hill, turning a $30,000 bet into $900,000 in profit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar Levine Studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Austin Lane preparing for a fight in the cage. He's out, as you may know. We won't have Austin until Tuesday when he comes home with a belt, with another win in the MMA. Brent Martineau will be with us here in a second. He'll be live at String Sports Brewery. And I'm Casey Kurtz. I'll be with you from 3 to 6. I'll also be with you, Action Sports Jax Overtime, 6 to 6:30 right here on ESPN 690. And going to go 6:30 to 7 stream only. So if you're listening on the radio right now and you're thinking, I really want to hear that extra 30 minutes, you got to jump on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook as well. Just search ESPN 690. You will find it. We'll be stream only from 6:30 to 7. We got a lot going on a Thursday because at 7, you can flip your TV to Fox 30 and you can see Jaguars All Access. That'll be with Brent Martineau, as I mentioned, at String Sports Brewery. So go join Brent. Watch the show live. You can watch this show live here in a couple of seconds when Brent is with us. And then on Fox 30 and right here on ESPN 690 as well, you can hear or watch Thursday Night Football. And what a matchup we have. On paper, is it great? No. Because I think most of us know or assume we know what's going to happen in this one, and that's going to be Mac Jones and the Patriots are going to beat the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. But, man, Mac Jones is something else, huh? We obviously have Trevor Lawrence here, and we are happy about that. But Mac Jones is something special, and we're going to get to see that on the national stage. Like I said, you can watch it on Fox 30 right after Jaguars All Access, or you can hear it right here on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, are you at String Sports Brewery, and are you ready to talk some sports?
Yeah, baby, I'm here, ready to roll. Even talked to my mom on the way over. We got a little traffic, had a little issue with the traffic today, but not bad as I thought. I thought you'd be kind of doing the first 15 minutes or so.
I was ready.
So you were ready?
Oh, yeah.
Ready to rock and roll? Short notice?
Oh, yeah, I had a golf picks update. By the way, I'm winning. Humble brag.
Is Scheffler winning the tournament?
No, he's T9 right now.
All right.
And Harris English, by the way, T15, so you're close behind me. Luke List, T43. So.
All right. That's Austin's pick of Luke List. All right, go push any buttons you need to push. I'm ready to roll here from String Sports Brewery on a Thursday. We do this every Thursday. And we'll have Jaguars All Access coming up at 7 o'clock on Fox 30 as well. So had really nice turnouts here at String. String's doing fantastic. More and more people know about it, and the crowds have been really good here in Springfield. So come on out if you haven't been yet. If you haven't heard about it, make sure you come on out. And a little bit later on, Brent buys a beer if there's a spot on the board that will happen as well. Shaq Griffin joins us later tonight on the TV side. But we will talk plenty of Jaguars today as James Robinson was back out at practice, and the Jaguars getting ready for the San Francisco 49ers. You know, you look at the 49ers, and this is a game, if you go way back now, that scared the heck out of me for the Jacksonville Jaguars because the defense of the Jags was playing such bad football. Well, now you fast forward, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe the defense is playing good enough football to offset what Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers might do. I think Shanahan's very good at scheming plays. I think Shanahan owned the Jaguars' defense even in 17 on Christmas Eve, if you remember, when the Jags were good. Now, there's a couple of things about that game. One, he was very used to that kind of defense that Gus Bradley, Todd Wash, everybody ran. He knew it. His Robert Saleh ran it. They ran it in San Francisco. They had run it in Atlanta, I believe, as well when he was in Atlanta. So he had gone against that. He knew the weaknesses to that defense. And so I think that made a little bit of a difference back then. And the other part of it is the Jacksonville Jaguars had essentially clinched that day. Someone lost. I don't know if it was the Titans that lost, but they had clinched the AFC South. And so there was a little bit of, does this game really matter? And it didn't at the end of the day. So, that's one small sample. But we know Shanahan can scheme up pretty good. I mean, look what he just did to the Rams the other day, and I think he did a masterful job. I also think Shanahan and Lynch have gotten way too much credit for what they've done in San Francisco. Their record does not speak volumes about, maybe the way everybody wants to pump those two guys up, and myself included. We've had that conversation in the past. Are they really that good? Look at the record. Sooner or later, injuries or no injuries, you kind of are what your record says. They thought Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the guy. They paid him to be the guy, and he's not the guy because they just drafted a new guy. So how much does Shanahan really know? How good is he? How great is he? But he's still dangerous, in my opinion, going against the Jaguars. But now there's this renewed faith in Joe Cullen and this defense, what they've been able to do. And I kind of love the chess match of this football game coming up on Sunday, and I didn't know I would. In the first half of the year. But now you've got Kyle Shanahan, that offense that looked like it was cooking on Monday night. They've got everybody getting back and healthy. And they've got Trent Williams playing unbelievable football at the left tackle spot. Jimmy Garoppolo is doing just enough. Ayuk can be dangerous, even though he's really not a main threat. Deebo Samuel is one of the best receivers in the game right now. If you look at the numbers, they're all adding up to say that too. And then you got Kittle back. And Kittle being back really stretches defenses out and makes them think about another person. And Jags over the years just haven't been good at tight ends anyway. But now you got Joe Cullen, who we wondered if it was just a great scheme against the Buffalo Bills because of his time with the Ravens and what they had been able to do in adopting that schematic game plan. Well, I think it was more than that. I mean, they got off to a bad start against a team that was totally different than the Bills in the way they approached the offense in Indianapolis, and then they really settled down, made adjustments, and played good football. So I think it's safe to say they've played good football over the last month. They've played really good football over the last 2 weeks especially, and you wonder now, is this something you can rely on here in Jacksonville, that the defense is going to be pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be great, but it's going to be pretty good, and that sets up this chess match I think we have coming up on Sunday between Shanahan and Joe Cullen, because Austin said it over the last few days and over the last couple of weeks, and I asked Urban Meyer a little bit about it too. It's like, yeah, players are playing better, but Joe's done a pretty good job of scheming things up and changing it around. And what Austin said earlier this week is, they're running games and stunts and getting the best out of that interior and some of these players. That's why Taven Bryan's playing better football. So, will he be able to do that again? This will be a different team than, say, Indianapolis, a different team than Buffalo. The chess match is really interesting to watch. The one thing that should scare you as a Jags fan from a defensive perspective is I think we will see way more crossing routes than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. And that has been an Achilles heel, maybe even more so than like the tight ends. In the old defense, the 4-3 defense, again, the Gus Bradley, the Todd Wash defense, the tight ends were holy cow, right? I mean, it was unbelievable. But now in this defense, this year especially, the thing that has really bothered the Jags are the crossing routes. Now, maybe the crossing routes aren't as bad now because they're playing a bit more zone defense. They're trying to keep everything in front of them. The communication's better. But keep an eye on that this Sunday. I think Shanahan will try to go that route and mix up the Jags on the communication and see if they've learned from it, see if they can get better from it. So I love that part of this game. the offense of the 49ers coming off a really good performance. The Jags defense coming off two really pretty good performances. And that will take place on Sunday here in Jacksonville. And then the other side of the ball, or advantage San Francisco. San Francisco has players on that side of the ball, led by, of course, Nick Bosa. And the Jags just have given us nothing to rely on offensively right now going into this football game. And until they show us that they can catch the passes, they can get in the end zone, they can move the football, they can get third down conversions, well, I think we're kind of stuck in wait-and-see mode. And also we're kind of stuck in rookie blues mode with Trevor Lawrence because nothing's going right around him. He's not playing great in elevating, at least making up for all those mistakes, and he's got to do a little bit of that. So we'll see. I do think, and I said this yesterday on the show, I think in these last 8 games, the offense of the Jags will get cooking a little bit. I think they'll start to go a little bit, and I think they're going to be way better than they've been in the last 3 weeks. In fact, I think they'll hit like a peak performance over like a 3-week stretch at some point in these last 8 games. I don't know when that is. I really don't. I don't know if that's starting with San Francisco on Sunday. Hopefully it does, but I think they'll have this stretch where they're like, wow, okay, that's what this could be. That's what this should look like. I think most teams do that during the course of the year. This is not that. We have seen dysfunctional offenses in Jacksonville. This has been a bit dysfunctional over the last 3 weeks, but this wasn't dysfunctional necessarily in the first 6 games. I've seen worse around here, and I think I could see that they might be able to get some things going, especially with the maturation of the quarterback. And Bevel really and the QB have to get in the rhythm again. That's really what I say. Bevel has to get in a rhythm with his offense, but how do you make the offensive coordinator and the quarterback get in a rhythm when you can't complete or convert on third downs and pick up first downs? So that's the main part with the Jaguars offense, and I guess we'll be in wait-and-see mode here on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. It's an interesting matchup because I think early in the year we all circled it like, okay, they're not going to beat them. Well, 3 weeks ago, you beat the Buffalo Bills. You're like, wait a minute now, that San Francisco game, they don't look like they're playing that great, and they got to come all the way across the country. Well, then a couple days later, they beat the Rams, and you lose to the Colts, and the offense is sliding. And now the 49ers offense looks good, and now we're like, well, wait a minute now, we don't know about this. What's going to happen? I think it will be a very competitive game, a very good game. I don't know if the Jags are going to win. We'll have our picks tomorrow on that and see where we fall. But I think it's a fascinating game. And a chance to, again, kind of steal one on the schedule that probably few expected the Jaguars to win. That NFC West starting the year was fantastic. It hasn't really taken shape that way if you look at it. Arizona obviously has lost Kyler Murray a little bit after the hot start. The Rams are a mess right now in the last 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know other way to say it. They're a mess despite all the talent and the additions. The Seattle Seahawks had to live without Russell Wilson for like a month, and when they got him back, they got shut out by the Green Bay Packers. And so they don't look like they're a factor in the NFC right now, especially in the West in that divisional race. And then there's San Francisco, who might have got so far behind that they might not be able to catch up a team like Arizona, but they could probably still catch up for that last spot in the wild card race. So it's a massive game from a playoff and staying in it in late November standpoint for the San Francisco 49ers. That's how this one looks on paper. Brent Martineau here, String Sports Brewery in Springfield, here until 6 o'clock. We've got the FSU Report coming up a little bit later. We're going to talk a lot more football. We have a couple of leftover topics that we didn't get to yesterday and all week long, and I want to get to them. Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jax studios. If you wonder where Austin is and you didn't join us yesterday, he's got a fight coming up on Sunday in Houston, Texas. It's a big fight. It's on UFC Fight Pass. And it's a massive fight for him as he tries to climb the ladder and get to the UFC. And we'll talk all about that tomorrow again, but that's why Austin's not here. He's on his way to Houston, Texas. The big news, though, Casey, did you get his pick in for Thursday Night Football? Because we don't want to have to make the pick for him.
Oh, yeah. I got 3 different picks depending on where he indeed picks. So I have all of the options on the table for Austin. He thinks he's picking third. I don't know. I'll have to check that, but I do have multiple options that he gave me to pick for him.
Well, he must. If he's picking third, then he had a really bad week in fantasy. I think I'm picking third. I had my worst week of fantasy football. So you're picking first because you lost.
That's usual.
Usually the second place picker means they had a higher score in fantasy football. That's been me like every week. But I really stunk it up this past week. I laid an egg. So that's okay. It's going to happen. It happens en route to a championship season. But I'll probably end up picking third today for the Atlanta and New England game. As you mentioned, that will be on ESPN 690. Casey and Brian Middleton will have Action Sports Jax overtime right after this show, 6 until 6:30. So we got a full lineup ahead on all the Action Sports Jax channels. I want to get your thoughts real quick, Casey, as you look at that. We're just talking San Francisco and this game. I mean, kind of laid out the offensive and defensive sides. Forget about special teams. That's boring. But how much confidence do you have in the Jags in this game, maybe relative to the start of the year versus just a couple of weeks ago?
It's a tough – I don't know if I have more confidence. I do on the defensive side of the ball, but when it comes to San Francisco, I think they've been – it seems like San Francisco is always hurt. Like someone important for their team is always hurt. Nick Bosa, Jimmy G, it was Kittle this year. And I feel like when you look at them right now, nobody's hurt. And getting Kittle back is so different for their team. They're just way different with him, and they should be. He's a top 2 tight end in the league. And I think now that they have him healthy, and Joe Cullen talked about how to stop him today, and he pretty much said, yeah, it's going to be hard. So I think the defense is playing better, obviously, but the confidence goes down when you have a full and healthy offense for San Francisco. And then on the offensive side of the ball, confidence less than 0. Don't have any confidence about them. Nick Bosa's coming in, and I think you said Trevor got hit 10 times on Sunday in Indy. Nick Bosa might hit him 10 times alone. So that's what scares me, and Darrell Bevell's got to find a way to get the ball out of Trevor's hands quickly and keep Nick Bosa away from Trevor.
Yeah, obviously you got to protect them, and they have to design some things to help, like Jawan Taylor out. I think Taylor has been very iffy again for the Jags. It feels like that side has been more leaky than the other. Now, word has been Barch is doing pretty well. I think the Jags look at their offensive line, they look at the sack totals, and they're like, hey, they're doing a pretty good job. They're doing a better job than you think, than people think. I don't know if it feels that way the last couple of weeks. And you know me, I've been a big fan of their offensive line. I think it's way better than people think it is. And relative to the rest of the NFL, it's not as bad as people think it is. So I think there's a lot to like about their offensive line that doesn't always jump out at everyone. And the first reaction for any football team that's not good is your offensive line stinks. And I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think that the Jags' offense right now stinks. The Jags' offensive line, I'm not sure if they stink. In fact, I don't think that. But Jawan Taylor has not played consistent football, and you just wonder on every play, or a play that Trevor rolls right on, or is he going to make his block? And I would think Bosa will try to somehow or another find himself move around and get matched up with Taylor a couple of times. And on those plays, you better be careful. So I think it'll be interesting on the Bosa side. What I think is more fascinating is, can the interior of the Jaguars' defense continue to get push and then impact Jimmy Garoppolo, who he can be mobile, but I also think he can be flustered. And they made it very simple against the Rams for Jimmy Garoppolo. Can the Jags muddy that up a little bit? They did it against Carson Wentz. They did it against Josh Allen. I mean, can they do it 3 weeks in a row? And again, that defensive interior, whatever the games and stunts and things that they're running on that defensive side, it's working. It's led to 2 of the best games ever by Taven Bryan. Malcolm Brown's playing good football right now. You're noticing him. Devon Hamilton with a sack last week in a big spot, too. So, and then, of course, that allows Josh Allen and others to get going. And Josh Allen, Trent Williams, that could be a fascinating matchup, because Trent Williams, by all accounts, is playing like the best left tackle in the league this year. And the Jags, a lot of people wanted the Jags to go after him, and they didn't. But San Francisco did. And, yeah, but I don't, like you say, if only. I mean, is Cam Robinson playing that bad? Like, has Walker Little and Cam Robinson cost the Jags? I don't feel that way. Like, no, I'm not saying Trent Williams wouldn't be better. I'm not saying those guys are them. But I also don't sit there and look at the Jags' offensive line like, man, that left tackle has been a real problem spot for the Jags this year.
No, I agree with you, but I think when you had all this cap space and you still have it, and you have a guy that you're saying is playing the best left tackle in the league, it has to be an upgrade. Not to say Cam Robinson's playing bad, but if you've got a guy who's doing it the best in the league, I'd rather have that.
Yeah,
if you had the money to get him.
Yeah, well, they had the money to get him, and they ended up spending the money on Cam in terms of the franchise tag. So they're spending a lot of money this year. What they did not do is commit themselves like you would have had to do to Trent Williams as a 30-something-year-old left tackle for multiple years. And so they did not commit themselves to multiple years. And I will give the Jags this. You've got to know where you're at, right, like in your build, if you will. And they are not in a place where they're like, hey, we're a left tackle away from, boom, doing this. Or we're this guy on defense away from going to the Super Bowl. Well, sure. I feel like Trent Williams is that kind of guy that San Francisco's like, hey, we got good players. Let's go get this guy. Let's sign him up. Let's make sure he's here because he could help us put us over the top. And I just don't think the Jags were there. Now, you got to protect the rookie quarterback, but let's be honest, again, that left side has done a decent job. Actually, I would say a better than decent job of protecting the rookie quarterback. And I also believe the rookie quarterback has done a nice job of helping out the offensive line at times. But that's a heck of a matchup now, Trent Williams. And I mean, if you talk about two guys playing at their highest level right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure you can find a better matchup across the NFL.
No. I mean, now granted, I'm not going to pretend to know how every offensive line is playing in the NFL, but this comes, I mean, being able to see Josh up front and what he's done the last 2 weeks, yeah, it seems like an obvious matchup. And to your point about the interior pass rush, I mean, Alex Mack is their center, but I'm not going to pretend to know how their guard play is. So you're right in that aspect. If you can keep getting that push on the inside, Josh Allen will be able to eat, but hopefully it's entertaining and we can see Josh Allen get past Trent Williams, and then we can see the battle all day long. I do think, to your point, it's going to be fascinating.
Well, here's the deal, okay? This is one of those games. 2 weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen might have made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in that game. I mean, he had an interception, he had a fumble return, he had a sack. He was all over the place. He had quarterback hits, and I think last week, he had 10 quarterback pressures, I think it was. I think they said 10.
It's a lot.
I think it was 10. That sounds like a lot. I think I read that right, though.
That's two hands worth.
I mean, he's all over the place. I think that's a lot for a game. And if he can now go have a big day against Trent Williams, who's playing at an elite level, who's going to probably be a first-team All-Pro or Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Well, here's another chance to punch your ticket to the Pro Bowl and maybe start to get some All-Pro recognition. If you're Josh Allen. Now, he's got to get some bigger numbers to get in that conversation, but you get my point. This is a statement kind of game, a signature kind of game. He already had it against Buffalo, but there's a chance a couple weeks later to back it up again, and Josh Allen is feeling good about himself. He's walking around with a swagger again, and he's playing excellent football. So I can bet you this. Shanahan's got his eyes on number 41 when he watches that tape.
He better, and if he's not, he's in trouble.
Yeah, and so it would be really cool to watch this, and really cool if Josh can get the better of Trent Williams a few times and make some impact plays, because that will do another. I mean, again, you're talking about a guy's stock who can continue to go up and up. And coming off a couple weeks ago, everybody now knows who the Josh Allen of the Jaguars is.
That's a good point. Josh Allen.
Yeah, they could know his name again. Coming up on Sunday against San Francisco. By the way, the fact is there are two good Josh Allens.
Yeah, one's better than the other, though.
I think they're both pretty darn good. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Jags injury report is out. The James Robinson practice. Will give you an update on that. What's the latest? Coming up from String Sports Brewery here in Springfield. Coming out here until 6 o'clock. Jaguars All Access at 7 o'clock. Live on Fox 30 and live from String Sports Brewery.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Warm today. Skies become partly cloudy. An afternoon high near 80. A brief shower this evening as temperatures drop into the upper 50s. And breezy and cooler for your Friday. It'll be partly sunny tomorrow. We'll reach the low 70s by early afternoon, then fall into the 60s by late in the day. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes.
Well, get the easy garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Smoke for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue. And it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewells.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia. Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick, and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoke for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
For 50 years, Taylor has been a leader in caring for the elderly. Providing quality, compassionate care has always been our mission. At Taylor Care Center and Taylor Manor, our recipe for success has always been our exceptional team. They work tirelessly to ensure that your family member gets the best care possible. When residents were not able to spend time with you and your family, our team stepped up to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and special occasions. Our dedicated staff is among the best in the business. Taylor Residents, providing safe, compassionate care every day.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper, so many flavors to choose from. And of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wings Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wings Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Do you know what it takes to be a successful business owner? If so, share your advice with someone who is eager to learn from your experience. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. We need volunteers from all areas of business, including accounting, finance, human resources, sales and marketing, as well as legal. If you're interested in joining our team, click on the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7. And we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
What's up? It's Casey. After you listen to Action Sports Jax from 3 to 6 and Action Sports Jax OT from 6 to 6:30 today, listen to Thursday Night Football as Jacksonville's own Mac Jones and the Patriots will travel to Atlanta and take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Coverage starts at 8 right here on ESPN 690.
as the season, we were going to get better and better. You know, unfortunately, it took a little longer than we wanted, but I just think that's really helping. And the guys are getting a feel of one another, how to rush together in terms of talking about pass rush, Gene, how to rush with one another. Like, you get out 4 great rushers and everyone's doing their own thing, nothing works. It takes 4 to get to the quarterback, not just one. You know, you can have a great rusher and they chip them, but when all 4 start doing what you know the plan wants them to do, and they start doing that. And the big thing, again, I think we're being physical inside, and that's really helped.
That is Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator. Over the last couple of weeks, really has been a star for this football team. And there have been times where it didn't look good. They couldn't get – this comes on the heels of 12 men on the field. A couple occasions had to call a timeout. Some of the communication looked off. A lot of miscommunication. We're wondering about the development of a guy like Tyson Campbell. We wanted to see Andre Sisco. I mean, those questions go away when you play better football. I think people still want to see Andre Sisco, by the way. But it's really, they're not going to see that right now because the defense is playing well. There's no reason to make any changes. And that's good to see. I mean, it's good. I think that's coaching. I think we're seeing coaching. I think overall we always want to be like, blame the coaches, blame the coaches. Like, everybody right now is blaming Sanjay Lal because he's a terrible receivers coach. You know what? I don't think Sanjay Lal is doing a great job. I don't think how you could say he's doing a great job. But why fans and everybody always goes to the coach when these guys are getting paid pretty good money to play the game the right way, and make plays? Why do we always avoid the player in these conversations? Is Marvin Jones not playing as well? Laviska Shenault certainly is not playing as well. I have a hard time believing Sanjay Lal is telling a Laviska Shenault to not run the correct route a couple of times against Indianapolis.
Yeah, that would seem like something that wouldn't happen.
We just go right after the coaches all the time. And listen, it's part of it. But it's so easy to just say it's the coaches. Laviska Shenault has played pretty good football for this football team. He's playing awful football right now. That's on Laviska Shenault as much as it is about the lack of development from a guy like Sanjay Lal, in my opinion. So, again, he's the easiest one right now because the receivers are not playing well. And by the way, outside of Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault, who's Sanjay Lal working with? A guy the Chargers cut, now the Jags just cut, and Tyron Johnson. Jamal Agnew was a defensive back a couple years ago.
That's true.
Who else we got? Laquan Treadwell, who the Vikings wanted. And by the way, Treadwell might be playing pretty good right now. And overall, I mean, he's not playing great, but he might be playing pretty good. They cut him. Who else?
John Brown.
Who else have the Jags had? John Brown. We haven't seen yet, so we'll see. But, I mean, he's playing. He's got 4 guys that I just mentioned that have been cut from other teams. That's and listen, now all of a sudden I've become the biggest defender of Sanjay Lal, the Jags wide receivers coach. Listen, I don't think you could say he's doing a good job. But the easiest thing to do is just be like, it's a coach. So where am I going with this? Well, I think overall, in the early part of the season, it was like Joe Cullen's not coaching well. Joe Cullen, what's he doing? He can't do this. Why did they go first-time defensive coordinator? And, well, we also knew the Jags weren't super gifted with talent on the defensive side of the football this year. We thought they might have got better, but they're not going to be great, even if you had Bill Belichick coaching the defense. So I think we blame Joe Cullen for some of that. Now, I do think the lining up issues, the communication issues, that does stem from coaching a bit on a defensive coordinator level and down to the positional coaches, because you just can't have that at this level. I mean, you can't have 12 guys on the field. I can't imagine that they don't coach that up, but maybe they relay the play-in, the communicate too late. The play-in isn't fast enough. There are things that you could blame the coach for, I believe, in those instances. So the moral of the story is, if we're going to do that to some of the coaches, when they play well, we better acknowledge the coaches. And I actually think it's pretty clear as day right now that the Jags defense is getting better compared to the first month of the season to this last month of the season. Now, there are some lulls in there. The first half against Seattle wasn't very good. But overall, over the last month, they have really played better football. And I think in the last 2 weeks, I've really noticed it on the coaching front, with the game plan. They outsmarted, outcoached, outschemed the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago. They didn't necessarily do that Sunday. I didn't see that against the Colts, but they adjusted, and they played better. and they allowed like 8 yards rushing to the best running back in the league right now, not named Derrick Henry because he's hurt, over the last 3 quarters. Like, I think that has to go to some coaching. Now, I will give 90% of it to the players because that's what I do. I think it's on the players, usually. But I do think we have to acknowledge the coaching in this instance, especially on the good side, because I think Joe Cullen has adjusted, and I think Austin's talked about it. Like, he is doing some different things on that front to create opportunities, and that's just from a schematic standpoint. And listen, that's what they're paid to do. I mean, they get paid good money to do that, but I think we have to acknowledge when they're doing that a little bit. And I think Joe Cullen certainly is. And I'm fascinated to see him go the rest of these 8 games because I really thought the Jags defense was just going to be really not that good all year. Can they be better? Yes, because they could get turnovers. Like, they're doing some good things, but they could get more turnovers. And if they get turnovers, they have a chance to really help this football team win and help the offense get going over these final 8 games. That's what I got my eye on. I will say this now, one more thing about the defense for now. And I think it was in camp that Joe Cullen said, when asked, can you double your sack total from 2020? And their sack total was an abysmal 18. And he said, yeah, I think we can. Well, they're at 16. What's their record, 2-7? 16, yep. 9 games in. Now, I don't know if Joe was factoring the 17th game or not. But they're at 16 sacks with 8 games to go. Last year they had 18 sacks the entire season in a 16-game season. So, and I'll tell you this, Casey, I bet the numbers on pressures and QB hits and other things are even high, like higher than last year by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the sacks may not even be coming as much as their play has indicated they're affecting the quarterback, if you know what I mean. Like, they only had 1 sack, I think, last week against Carson Wentz. But he was doing the whirly bird, throwing it left-handed a couple of times and throwing it up for grabs a little bit where the Jags, you almost thought they would have a chance to pick it off. So, and those don't count as sacks, but they are impacting the quarterback, especially the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the sack count was 1. The left-handed throws from Carson Wentz count was 2. So if that tells you anything. But, yeah, I think they get there, Brent. As well as they're playing right now, and you've got some favorable sack games coming up, I think they double it. I don't think that's what you asked me, but I'm just telling you that I think they double it in the sack, especially if Josh Allen plays like he is right now.
How much do you seriously, like, you grew up in a Twitter world, and again, on the Twitter world that we live in sometimes, and that's not the whole world, I really feel like coaches are like the first thing that go, like, people want to fire coaches after every week.
Yeah.
They think coaching stinks. Everything's on the coaches. Everything. It starts with the coaches. And, I mean, it's a little bit like when your kid is failing math class, blaming the teacher for everything.
That is a heck of a comparison.
Like, what the hell is your kid doing in class? Like, is he doing his homework at night? Probably not, but let's blame the teacher anyway.
I like
that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a little bit of that in our world, that way we watch sports. It's always on the coach. It's always on the assistant. It's always on that. And then we get to the player, by the way, and we're very critical to the player, I think, on game day. But outside of game day, we're less critical on player, unless it's a big-time player like a quarterback, and we're more critical of the coach. Coaches. But where do you fall on that? Do you think, like, would you take the Jags wide receiver group and say, hey, it's just a bad group, Sanjay Law's not a good coach? And by the way, there was some evidence to, like, why did Urban Meyer bring in Sanjay Law? If you look at his history, it's not like he's coached Pro Bowl wide receivers and got, like, unbelievable seasons out of these guys. It's a fair curiosity, and I think a fair criticism to go back and look at the resume a little bit. So I don't absolve him from any of this. But where do you fall on, say, that position group, or just in general when you're watching sports, hey, the coach stinks?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm going to follow this up with a question that I'm going to ask you, but I'll answer what you're asking me. And look, I think I've said it before, I don't think these guys are very good, man. And Marvin Jones, I think, is good. Laviska Shenault, I'm not sold on. I wasn't sold on when they drafted him. I wasn't sold on him last year. I'm just not sold, and this is certainly not helping make the sale. Jamal Agnew is surprising me, but Tavon Austin, Treadwell, I mean, maybe they're getting the best that they can out of these guys that, as you said, have been cut in other places. So I just think in general, without DJ Chark, it's just not a great group. As for the coaching part of it, I think it's fascinating that you say that, because thinking about it, I've said that they should fire Dan Mullen a couple times to compare that. And I think it's easy to do that on Twitter and whatnot. And I think you assume that the coach is put into position because he has earned it or should be in this position. And that's why I think people give them more criticism versus the player. Not that the player hasn't earned it, but the way that I think people look at it is the coach should be able to make the player better. And when that's not happening, I think it's just easier to fall back on the coach. So I do see it on Twitter. I get what you're saying. And I think it's just kind of a product of what goes on Twitter now, because everybody can have an opinion. And coaches are getting fired on Twitter all the time. So, yeah. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. I just think it's fascinating that that's where our world is going. And I love Twitter. And I like the idea that everybody should have an opinion, but I don't know if you should tweet it. But the point of the story is Twitter has made things so much different in the landscape of sports and coaching. But on the wide receiver.
Before you ask that question, hold on that question for a second, because I want to follow up. So it's interesting you bring up a guy like Mullen. See, I think the head coaches can be, I think, viewed a little bit differently. It's not always their fault. But I think, like Urban, he brought criticism to himself several times, not just the off-the-field stuff, but the inability to explain why 24 hours later that James Robinson had 12 touches in the first half and 6 touches in the second half, didn't even know it.
Right.
All right, well, come on, man. I mean, you're the head coach. I made I think I said it on Twitter that day, I didn't sleep well Sunday night knowing James Robinson had 6 carries in the second half.
Right.
How the hell did the coach not know by Monday afternoon that he didn't have 6 carries and your offense is struggling? That's open door for criticism, in my opinion.
It should be.
It's probably the most critical I've ever been on a coach around here for that day and a half happening. And then you bring up Mullen. And see, Mullen's different, too. Again, these guys are the CEOs. They're in charge of everything. So they get graded not just on the development of players, but also the win-loss record, and also in the college game, recruiting, and also the feel around the program, and is this trending in the right direction type of stuff. And so I do think that's a little bit different. Listen, I'll attack coaches sometimes, too. I look at a guy like Minnesota and Mike Zimmer, and right now I think he makes the claim that he's not a good coach, or at least not a winning coach, because they lose more games that they shouldn't lose, or they have lost more games over the years. When you look at the numbers and the way their quarterback plays, what they have at the skill positions, sometimes what they can do and do on defense. I said do on defense. And I just think Mike Zimmer doesn't win enough. I don't. There's no other way to say it. Look, and I'm not even on top of the Minnesota Vikings day-to-day beat, but I look at that from afar and I'm like, that has to be an illustration on just the coach not being able to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Anthony Lynn got fired in L.A. because, listen, they had stuff that was good. They did good things, and they still would lose 2 out of every 3 games. So I do think it comes back to coaching it sometimes, and there's reason to be critical. I just think the first point of the finger is always the coach. And meanwhile, hey, LaVisca, hey, Marvin, hey, whatever. How about play a little better?
Yeah.
How about play a little better for that coach? Because my guess is he's teaching you and coaching you probably the similar way that most people do it in the NFL. Some people are better at it, absolutely. But I think those guys, their whole regression cannot be based on Sanjay Lal, is my point.
No, I agree with you. And real quick on Minnesota, the way I look at coaching, and you're right, they don't win enough games because they're incredibly talented. But let's just look at Kirk Cousins, for example. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I'm not. Not that you watch every Vikings game, but do you feel like from when Kirk Cousins became a member of the Vikings, he's gotten better? Or is he still the same guy?
No, I think he's better. I think he's got a couple of the monkeys off the back. I think he's consistent as heck, man. I mean, look at the numbers he puts up. And numbers aren't everything. I think people say that a little bit about Carson Wentz. Look at the numbers he's got this year. They're good. But if you really look at the eye test, has he played as well as the numbers? That's why you got to be careful with numbers. And so, but I just don't know what else you really want Kirk Cousins to do outside of win clutch games, which he's had the ball and misfired, but he's also got a little bit of that off his back recently. So I don't know how you feel about it, but I would say, yeah, I think he's developed into a consistent enough quarterback where you know who he is and you basically know what you're going to get every time out, which I think has a lot of value in sports in general when the coach knows what they're going to get from you just about every week.
I agree with you, but the way I look at it is I think when Kirk Cousins, the day he signed that contract, we knew what he was. He had good receivers, and he's going to put up good, bigger numbers. Now, granted, the numbers have inflated, but I think that might be a product of what he's throwing the ball to Adam Thielen. He was throwing it to Diggs, and now he's throwing it to Justin Jefferson. So I just think that Kirk Cousins, since he's been in Minnesota, has been no shots on Kirk Cousins. I think he's been quality. He hasn't won games, but that might be a different problem. I just think that you can't look at that and be like, they are making him so much better coaching-wise. I don't know if that would happen anywhere else, but I just feel like Kirk Cousins from day one has been this guy that puts up good numbers that can't win, and he's still a guy that puts up good numbers that can't win. So that, in my opinion, has to fall on coaching somewhere.
Yeah, probably, but Cousins might be an enigma, too, in the sense that, he's pretty good. Look at the numbers are going to add up. He might be a little Stafford-esque in this regard. That, you can put up the numbers, you go see, but can he win and can he rally grown men? Right?
Yeah.
Can he be the reason why Tom Brady has this ability that I don't think guys on that team want to disappoint Tom Brady? I think Aaron Rodgers, there are players on both sides of the football like, I don't want to disappoint that guy. Like, I want to play for that guy. I want to win for that guy. I want to win with that guy. Yeah, sure, Minnesota wants to win with Kirk Cousins. They don't not like him. But I think there's a difference there, and that's like this thing that you can't measure. Stats don't cover. QBR, whatever, it doesn't do that. So I think that's what really the hope around here is, and maybe you're seeing it in New England too. Mac Jones might have that, where, hey, he has an ability to raise the level just by his actions, body language, what he says, how he practices. Those are all things that we don't see when we're watching it on TV. I think that's a lot of what we've heard about Trevor Lawrence, quite frankly, is that guys want to play for him. Now, it would be nice if they'd make a play for him.
That would help. It would help.
But you hope that your quarterback has that, and I think Derek Carr has developed a little bit of that over the last year and a half, more so than he had early on in his career. And I don't know if guys often develop that trait, but I think that was a little bit of a problem. Go all the way back to a Jay Cutler, he just didn't have that gene, where it was like, yeah, man, I want to play for Jay today. And I think that's why it came. We've talked to so many people that play with Jay Cutler. He wasn't a bad guy in the locker room. But it came across that way.
Sure.
And I think that was just one of the narratives because he couldn't win. And Cousins has these narratives, too, because he doesn't win enough or win big enough. But every coach would sign up for Cousins' numbers and production from that spot.
Yeah.
Without question.
No,
so
I think you're right.
It's an inexplicable thing at times, and sometimes have, what they call it, quote, the it. I'm not sure Cousins has the it. That kind of describes the it. Hey, don't lose your question. I know you got one on the receivers. We'll do it on the other side. String Sports Brewery from Springfield. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Got a busy day ahead up until 6 o'clock here on ESPN 690. Brian, Middleton, and Casey will take it for Action Sports Jax overtime until 6:30. 7 o'clock, Jaguars All Access on Fox 30 from Strings. And then later tonight, we've got the Patriots and Falcons rematch of that Super Bowl. Oh, let's relive that. That's on ESPN 690 and Fox 30 as well. Good night ahead here on the Action Sports Jax family of networks.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Did anyone watch football last year and think, I think there's just too much taunting going on? These guys seem to be too excited when they make big plays, and every now and again, it seems to be in the face of their opponent. This does not have any impact on the competition of the game until you choose to make it so. And what I'm suggesting is don't choose that. Don't choose that.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and watch exclusively on ESPN+.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Napa know-how.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is only $19.99. It's the hottest deal of the year for the coldest time of the year. So if you're in your car right now, there's no need to turn on the heat. I'm about to read this sizzler again. That's Napa full synthetic for a hot $19.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states. Offer ends 12/31/21.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock, and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit CoraPhysicalTherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jax. Get 2 points for every dollar, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from One-to-One Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom. A single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Nights of Lights dazzles with more than 3 million lights in the historic district of St. Augustine. Now imagine doubling those lights as they reflect off the water during your tour with Redboat Tours. Avoid downtown crowds by boarding at Beach's Restaurant Marina at 250 Volano Road. Then sit back and let Captain Tony and Miss Jennifer take you on a tour you'll never forget. Don't settle for imposters. Make no mistake, Redboat Tours is St. Augustine's only USA Today Reader's Choice Best Boat Tour 3 years running. Book your Nights of Lights tours now at redboattours.com.
Hi
there. I'm Mia. I'm Air.
Your air?
Yeah, I just got out of the lungs of someone smoking a cheap little cigar outside a bodega. Oh, it was so smoky in there. And where there's smoke, there's
fire.
Cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. Little cigars might taste sweet, but they still kill. I'm supposed to be helping people, not unhelping them.
You mean hurting?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm a bit of an airhead.
Little cigars are just as dangerous as regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
It's just continued emphasis. We really work on it every single day, and it's sometimes I think it can be almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes if you harp on something too much, then you draw too much attention to it. But like I say all the time, all these guys are professional catchers. They're receivers for a reason, and their job is to catch the ball. So we expect them to catch it, and then we'll do everything that we can to help them. All the drill work, we do that every day, and it's got to be something that can't get in their head either.
Well, that's Darrell Bevell, Jags offensive coordinator. As we welcome you back live from String Sports Brewery in Springfield on ESPN 690, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin out the rest of the week as he gets ready for his big fight on Sunday in Houston. Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jax studios. Stuart Weber probably dropped by in just a little bit. There's some big high school news today, and of course we got the playoffs second round here in Northeast Florida coming up tomorrow. It was interesting to hear what Bevell just said there. I think it can get in your head. And I even said this last night on TV. I probably said it yesterday on radio. But it can be a dangerous narrative drops. That was the narrative coming out of Cincy camp on Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, he turned it into, okay, that was wrong.
Yeah, he did.
So you can turn it around. But you can get in your own head on it. I mean, I think you really can. And I've seen this before. They've talked quarterbacks out, don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. And then what happens? Well, you throw it 6 yards every time because you're afraid to make a mistake, and a guy's got a rifle arm, Blaine Gabbert, and he never throws it down the field.
Right.
Because he's afraid to turn it over. And so I think what Bevell said right there is really spot on, in my opinion. How do you coach it up? You emphasize it, but you don't make it such a point that it's in your own head and you're thinking about it every time you run a route. You had a question about receivers. What do you got?
So it just how you were saying, like fans and coaches and all that, they react on Twitter. Do you think part of the negativeness towards the current wide receivers coach has to do with the one that they let go this offseason? Yeah,
we were actually talking about that in the media room yesterday, and I think so. I think Keenan, in what makes a good wide receiver coach? Does anybody know?
No,
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, well, my guess would be like any coach, your room gets better.
Right.
Well, I think over the time they had a room that he coached up that got better, that at times played very physical because that's the way Keenan played back in the day. A guy like DJ Chark went to a Pro Bowl. But then we saw receivers last year, including DJ Chark, have a very off year. Was that Keenan McCardell's fault? Or was that DJ's fault? Or was that three different quarterbacks' faults? Or was that the offensive coordinator's fault?
Right.
I think that's why you got to be very careful. I was surprised when Keenan didn't come back. I thought that he would be back. I thought he was a guy that they should keep. And I think he is kind of a rising star. He lands in Minnesota. They've got pretty good receivers now.
That they do.
I mean, I feel like I could coach the receiving group in Minnesota to be pretty good.
You probably could.
And that's not to take anything away from Keenan, but maybe he can coach him to be great.
And maybe he has, and we just, you'd have to ask, I guess, Justin Jefferson and stuff. But, like, when you see the guys that Keenan had, like, Keelan Cole was a real option for a while.
Yeah, he was.
And undrafted.
Yeah, that's another good example.
Undrafted, right?
Good example. Yeah, Cole's a good example. But he was inconsistent now. And so even under Keenan, they had inconsistencies at wide receiver. Again, might have been quarterback, might have been the receivers in general just because they weren't all that talented maybe. But I would say this. Would they be better off if they had kept Keenan McCardell? I would think probably, yeah. I think probably, yeah. But he couldn't have done anything about DJ Chark's injury. And he can't do anything about picking up guys off the street that everybody left. So I don't know how much of this is to blame on Sanjay Lal. I would say how much of Laviska's regression is on Lal And would McCardell would have helped that? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe just keeping him in the slot will help Laviska Shenault. They're going to try that, I think, this weekend. All right, we got to take a break. We're live at String Sports Brewery. More football talk on the way, plus some big high school news happening today. That is coming up at the 4 o'clock hour on ESPN 690.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey, you were supposed to be here 10 minutes ago.
Boss, I'm a little freaked out right now.
What's wrong?
It's Safe Touch Security and their video monitoring systems. They're popping up everywhere.
Oh, for a minute you had me worried.
Boss, my next door neighbor's got Safe Touch video monitoring, the place across the street's got it, and now I notice there's one next door to the one across the street.
Keep it together now.
Boss, I'm surrounded. It's never been more dangerous to be a crook.
Whoa, easy. Look, you're not planning to break into your neighbor's house, are you?
Well, no.
Problem solved. Don't steal their TV and everything will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel better.
Oh, good. But when we're working, we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah.
Now get over here. We got work to do. Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your wipers are streaking. It might be time for a new set. We've got a great deal to help you get the job done and be ready for the weather ahead. Right now, you can get a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 2 Bosch Envision wiper blades. And we've got even more ways to shop. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I think is the biggest thing for us. That's really our focus this week is being on our details and being able to execute. So, whatever we need to do from our part as coaches to be able to help them, get to that area is something that we're really focusing on.
Well, that's Darrell Bevell. Obviously, they got to get in the end zone. I mean, if you look up 9 games, really, there are a lot of stats that kind of tell the story. I'll give you one. We looked this up today. Third down conversion rate for the Jags, 31% the first 6 games of the year. That stinks. You know what it was the last 3 games?
I don't.
It got worse.
Yeah, that's
29%.
Yeah, that's a low F.
They're under 30% on third down conversion rates. And I'm going to tell you, I'm probably wrong here because it just doesn't make sense that I'd be right. It just doesn't feel like they're in 3rd and 8 all the time. Like, I feel like they're not converting 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, which are not necessarily running downs, but they are very manageable. Like, that is where you want to be in the NFL. Like, you want to get to the way they run their offenses and design plays. They would like to be 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. They think if they can pick up 4 yards, 3 yards, and 4 yards, boom, first down. Like, that's how it's scripted to be.
I do agree with you that it feels like the gains always come on 2nd down. Never 1st, never 3rd.
Yeah, and I think I noticed that, and I don't really know what – I didn't want to put this out there too much because I don't know what it says. Maybe it says 1st and 2nd down have been worse. But they actually have – over the last 3 games, I think they've had 42 third down conversions. So what's that, 14 a game? In the early part of the year, like these first 6 games, they were averaging more like 11. So I don't know what that means. Are they getting the ball back more so they have more possessions because their defense is playing better?
Well, definitely.
Are they
against
driving
Buffalo
it a little bit, or are they just not doing well on 1st and 2nd down, so therefore the big chunk plays from 1st and 2nd down, they're getting to 3rd down more? I don't know exactly what it says, but I thought it was interesting that they're probably averaging 3 more third down attempts a game over the last 3 than they did in the previous 6 games. So just some of the numbers as we deep dive what's going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Brent Martineau here at String Sports Brewery in Springfield. We do this every Thursday. Come on out each and every Thursday. Beautiful day. It's going to be a nice night. We'll take you up until 6 o'clock. We have Jaguars All Access presented by Fields Auto Group coming up on Fox 30 at 7 o'clock. And Casey and Brian Middleton have Action Sports Jax overtime until 6:30 here on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau here, Casey back there, and now Action Sports Jax Stuart Weber is back in the studio. Thanks for popping up, Stuart Weber.
Yes, happy to come swing by and talk a little sports on ESPN.
Hey Weber, you're like a big SAT guy, good in the math and stuff, and so I have my own bureau, like Brent Sports Bureau. Like that's where I do all of my research, and I just feel like maybe we should be kind of team up and have a little bit more of an analytics department when it comes to these kind of statistics.
I mean, we could. I haven't had to use any of those math skills for like 15 years since I've been in the journalism industry, other than back-timing shows. But no.
Steph's a math teacher. She can help us out if we get stuck.
I'm game. Yeah, let's crunch some numbers.
Yeah, I like the numbers. See, I'm a big fan of the stats and the numbers and looking into some of the numbers. We did it with the running game again today, and really we're doing this for Countdown to Kickoff coming up this weekend. So you'll see it in graphics form, but. What we broke down is the Jaguars in the first 6 games were averaging 122 yards about per game. Their yards per carry was 5.2. Most of that James Robinson, of course. And in the last 3 games, they're averaging about 93 yards, I think it is a game, or maybe 91.3. And they are averaging 3.97 yards per carry. Now, When I say that, I want some advice from you guys. Should I have I took out the Agnew run in those numbers. Should I have or should I leave it in?
I saw that you took it out. I get that it certainly skews the average, but it was part of their rushing attack. So from a statistics standpoint, I would kind of say it should be left in there. Although to make your point, you should have taken it out. But that's kind of the way statistics work, isn't it? Where
you can spin statistics,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Well, and here's why I brought this up, because I'm hoping the Jags and Urban Meyer and everybody else look at that. And because I don't want – the reason why I took it out is because, one, that play had not happened in the first 6 weeks. So it's not like, hey, every 3 weeks they get a 66-yard run for a touchdown by Jamal Agnew. You know what I mean? So it's not a normal play. It's not normally part of their offense. So it's a little bit of an outlier. And the other reason I took it out is I think it gives – if you don't take that away, it gives you like this false sense of, hey, we're running the ball pretty well. No, you're not. You're not. Like, on however many carries that I added up, I think it was like around 65 or 70 of them over the last 3 weeks, they're averaging 3.97 yards per carry. If you put the 66-yard run in, they're averaging like 4.85 yards per carry. It goes up a yard off one play. Like, I think you're fooling yourself then if you throw that play in, much like I still don't believe that they played unbelievable football in the second half against the Seattle Seahawks. I think you're fooling yourself if you think that. Yeah, you played better, but the Seahawks didn't try. They hardly put their foot on the gas. And so you have to acknowledge those things, I think, if you're going to really deep dive into the numbers. You can be in denial about it, but then you don't fix it. And so that's why I took the Agnew number out, although I get the point of, hey, man, it's part of it, right? But I'll even give you something else, guys. If you look at the numbers last week against the Colts, just, again, why do we look at the rushing stats? We're looking at the rushing stats because, well, James Robinson's been out of the game. Like, what kind of impact does he make? James Robinson makes the offense go. I think he's proven that. I think the Jags have proven that over the last 3 weeks when they really can't fire on offense without him being a constant part of their offense. Play action works off James Robinson. Well, 179 yards of offense, I think it was last week, on, I want to say 27 carries from the rushing game. So 27 carries, I think it was, for 179 yards. The 66-yard run by Agnew, that's 1 carry, and 4 carries for 32 yards from Trevor Lawrence. So 98 out of the 179 came from people that aren't called running backs. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you operate your offense. Like, so when they hand it to the running back, 25 times they ran for, like, quick do the math, like 81 yards. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and I feel like this is why numbers can only take you so far in analyzing sports. So much of it is the eye test and is watching it with your own eyes and seeing how it looks in person, as opposed to just, taking zeros and ones and saying, well, these numbers show that this team is much better at this or the other thing. I mean, look at Buffalo when we played them a few weeks ago. Austin was really loving those numbers. Well, how'd that work out?
Yeah. I maybe I should next time classify the group when they turn and hand the ball off to the guy in the backfield.
Traditional handoffs.
Yes.
Yeah. Traditional running back handoffs. But that's the thing about the NFL right now is that you're incorporating so much of these different ways to get the ball into your playmakers' hands because of, how good these defenses are at scheming against your running game. I mean, you have to be a little creative. You have to be a little smarter than the other guy at times and find a way to get your guy the ball, like Agnew. I mean, I feel like that's such an awesome play for them to use because it's literally doing what he's good at. You give him the ball in the backfield, he sees his lanes like he was returning a kickoff. So he's able to utilize the skills that he has that you can capitalize on and put him into action in the game.
Yeah, and by the way, it should be a part of their offense. Like, yeah. I agree with you. I think getting Agnew the ball, putting him in motion, giving him a jet sweep, even if it's 12 yards, even if it's maybe just a 3-yard play, keeping defenses honest, running that play with a bunch of different looks where you don't give it to him on a play and then you option pitch the other way to James Robinson, perhaps, or
which, by the way,
whatever it might be.
This is a preview of the future. I mean, this is a preview of the 2022 season when you can try to imagine them using Travis Etienne in this kind of spot.
Absolutely. So I love the creativity of that. I think they actually should use more of that. And Agnew's right now is a threat that defenses have to keep their eye on. So I agree with the fact that, hey, it is part of the offense and part of what the Jags are capable of doing. And so you need to factor it in. And same with Laviska Shenault, some of the things they can do there. And maybe even Tavon Austin, although they really haven't used him in that role very much. But I just think you have to also be honest when you're looking at – listen, that's why these teams have analytic departments. But hopefully they're looking at that. Like I said this, I think I told you – I said this yesterday on the show. You know, everybody's talking about the 18 drops. But if that stat is correct from CBS a couple weeks ago, and this was a couple weeks ago, so you probably add to it, of the 18 drops, there's probably 12 or 13 on third down. Like, that is unbelievable in terms of stymieing your offense. Like, all those plays, well, maybe not all, but maybe 10 out of the 13 are first downs. Like, that changes even that part of the narrative, in my opinion. So, again, teams have analytic departments. Hopefully they're deep diving on these numbers and figuring out where their problem spots are. I mean, that's why you have 50 people on the staff to do that and then try to fix it and know what you're good at, know what you're bad at, and all those things. So
do we need 50 people in our stat staff as well, or how's that work?
No, we don't. We just have you and I right now. And I give a little credit to Olivia for digging up some of the numbers. But I think the number part is fascinating, and they don't always add up. But I do think there's two major storylines right now about the Jags, I think, that do add up. Offensively, they're at like 31 to 30%, something like that, on third down conversions. That's a major problem. Defensively, they have 4 turnovers all year, which if it's not worse in the league, I haven't looked it up lately, it's got to be one of the worst in the league. And that's a problem. So if you look at those two things, clear as day, simplistic stats, those are very good reasons why the Jags are 2-7. And those don't lie. And those you don't have to take things out and spin them. There's no spin there. That just says it how it is. All right, I want to get your thoughts on some high school football in just a moment because of big news at Mandarin today. But let's get to Steven. He's been on the line a bit here in the last hour, and we'll get him in Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What's happening, man?
Hey, not too much, Brent. How are you today?
Very good.
Well, whenever you get a chance to talk to Austin, tell him I wish him luck on Sunday.
I'll do it. He better
anyway,
be listening.
I'll, if I can get near the TV. But my question is, and I know we probably haven't heard confirmation yet, but getting Linder and O'Shaughnessy back, do you think that could play a part for Sunday? Because, I mean, Trevor gets another secondary blanket cushion instead of Dan Arnold, and maybe you can open up Dan Arnold a little more out wide, and hopefully they do what they say and put Laviska strictly in the slot for short routes, like short slants, little crossers, because his bread and butter, we all know, is just if he catches the ball, it's just he's a bust once he gets going. And I hope they can do that for this Sunday and maybe open it up with some short passes to get Trevor going and get this offense in a rhythm.
Yeah, good question, Steven. I appreciate the call. Thanks, 904-362-9901 here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And by the way, I appreciate you bringing up the injury report. I never did get to it. Rayshon Jenkins was sick yesterday, practiced in full today. Logan Cook limited with a knee. Carlos Hyde with a shoulder limited. James Robinson, the heel and knee that we talked a lot about yesterday. We told you about really on Monday, limited. But he did practice. Dakota Allen, shoulder limited. Miles Jack hasn't practiced the last 2 Wednesdays and Thursdays now, but still it feels like he'll go in the game for sure. Malcolm Brown, rest day. Jordan Smith really hasn't even got on the field. He's got an illness. So you got to wonder, too, keep an eye on the illness stuff. It's not COVID, I don't think. We would know about that. I think it's more there's a lot of flu going around, all over the place. It's that time of year. And so you hope that doesn't hit the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room. But to answer the question about O'Shaughnessy and Linder real quick, I think they both can really help you. Here's what you have to be very careful of if you're a Jags player, coach, or if you're a fan. I don't trust guys that are coming off 6-week injuries to help right away. I think it will take a little bit. And so much so that they might not be ready to play. Like they might not want to play him because of that or play them as much. Linder would be probably a different story. He's such a veteran, and he plays that position where you're most likely not going to come out. O'Shaughnessy, he might just not get as many snaps, and they might get him back into a groove. Now, again, he's a veteran guy. So maybe they do. But I just I wouldn't give myself a false sense of confidence that, oh, yeah, well, Linder's back in. Now watch this. O'Shaughnessy's back in. Now watch this. But it's nice to get him back. Certainly nice to get him back. And as I think Tyler Shatley plays pretty good football for this team.
That's what I was about to chime in with as well. Is
he
the fact
does.
That we don't hear his name very often as the reason something's going wrong on that offensive line.
No, but Linder's better,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
I mean, we know that. We
It
know
is a
that
step
for a
up.
fact.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to Steven's point is O'Shaughnessy is a pass-catching tight end for the most part. With him and Arnold in the game, we haven't seen. So maybe there are some new things and wrinkles on offense. 2 security blankets that now the Jaguars can run because it's pretty clear Manhurts is not going to be part of the passing game, and neither is Luke Farrell. So getting O'Shaughnessy back in there might make a little bit of a difference. I just don't know if I'd watch it for this week as much as maybe next week. And as much as I do like Tyler Shatley, the idea that they had Cam Robinson out for a bit, then they had Shatley out, and now they've had Can out for a while, I do think the offensive line has been leaky in the last few weeks. It was better in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season before they encountered 3 injuries they had to deal with. And now, slowly, obviously, Cam Robinson's back. Walker Little didn't play all that bad. Now you get Linder back in. You're not going to replace Can, but now Barch is in a little bit of a groove. I think that does bode well for their offensive line, too, to get Linder back in. Keep in mind, with the young QB, Linder makes a lot of the calls.
Yeah.
And, again, Shatley's good, but Linder is really good. And so that could make a big difference. Good question, Stephen.
And I feel like we hear this all the time, by the way, with that offensive line and why it's so important to note that it's not one guy being knocked out, but 3. When you talk about that continuity thing, 5 guys on the line, the more they work together, the better they're going to be. So you keep losing these different parts. It adds up pretty quickly, as we've kind of seen with those different guys coming in. Now, if you lose one, it's the different story than having 3 gone at one time.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer in that. I watched that up close, Stuart, like when I covered the Giants back when they went on that run. And if you go back and look at that first Super Bowl title, their offensive line, I want to say, had played together then for 3 or 4 years in a row, essentially. And they started out not so great for Eli Manning because they were all new and young. And, well, then before you knew it, they had like 50 starts together. And then they were winning Super Bowls. And so I do think the offensive line continuity is important. I think the Jags feel like that too, and I think that's why Warhop stayed around as the coach. I think they thought continuity would be good all across the board on that offensive line. So that was one of the coaches that stayed, and I think that's one of the reasons. That's just my guess, but I think that's why, because a lot of people would question why he did stay. But I think continuity is so important to that offensive line. You had those guys playing together for a 3rd year in a row that keeping Warhop around and continued voice of what they've been teaching, I think Urban Meyer even saw some value in that. So continuity is king. All right, Stuart Weber with us here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hey, big news in the high school ranks, and let's spend a couple minutes on high school. Bobby Ramsay, former Yulee coach, Coach Derrick Henry, Mandarin State Championship coach, is out. They're not bringing him back for 2022. And by the way, this is not Bobby Ramsay's doing. This is the school that sent a note to parents and saying, we're moving in a different direction. And obviously things got sour there for Bobby Ramsay and Mandarin. And kind of big news and a little bit surprising news because he's a good coach.
Yeah, surprising is a very good word for it. Caught me off guard when you sent that text over to us saying, hey, Bobby Ramsay's not coming back to Mandarin. And it feels that way because obviously, yes, they won the state title a few years ago. 2018, his 2nd year at the school, they go and win a state championship. Generally, you would think in high school football, winning a state championship is probably going to last you a while, you know, as far as job security goes and being able to lead the program. But it's always been more than that with Coach Ramsay. It's more than the on-the-field results. As we know in high school sports, it's so much about affecting the young men that you have on your roster and the players that, you know, are playing for you and playing for your squad. So it was definitely a surprise. Yes, the end of the year record the last couple of years hasn't been great, 4-6, 5-5. But one of the things with those teams is that you would always see them improve from day one to, the last day of the season. As that season went along, that's always kind of been the MO for the Mandarin Mustangs these past few years, is just a team that develops over the course of the year. And when you're playing the best teams in the area and playing in an 8A district, yeah, you're going to take some lumps when it comes to the win-loss record. I mean, look at Bartram Trail, who loses games in 8A because that's what 8A football is. I mean, shoot, the year Mandarin goes and wins a state championship, they had a few losses on their record on the way to that, and then they picked it up towards the end of the year and made a big run, obviously with Carson Beck finding his stride as the starting quarterback there for that team. But the point being, it's not about the wins and losses. So I just hope that it's not being looked at that way, looking, from whoever's making these decisions, seeing, okay, well, 4-6, 5-5, that's not good. We can do better. Look, we won a state championship. Well, you won a state championship because of the coaching and because of the players. And so much in high school football is cyclical when it comes to players, which is why you keep the same head coach and allow him to kind of ride with those cycles of high school football. So it is certainly a surprise to me to see that move made.
I don't think it is because of the wins and losses. I really don't.
Hope not.
Now,
Yeah.
I also don't think there's anything from a legal standpoint that I can find or anything like that happening, which we've seen. It also isn't Bobby Ramsey's going to, coach in Georgia.
Right.
That he's not leaving on his own.
Not yet. He might be.
Here's the letter.
He might go to Georgia.
He might. Yeah, he might.
Which we always say that, by the way, because it's so smart to go to Georgia where they're properly compensated, the high school coaches.
Yes, in a big-time way, much more than the state of Florida. Here's a letter to the Mandarin football family, meaning parents and everything else. And in part, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says, let's see. As athletic director, it's from athletic director, of course, it's incumbent on me to surround your students with a coaching staff that helps them realize their unlimited potential, supports them in achievement during the school years, and positions them for long-term success in all aspects of adult life. Earlier today, we informed Mr. Ramsay, I write this note to inform you we will seek a new head coach to lead our Mustangs football program for 2022. They appreciated and thanked Ramsay for everything that he did, and, it went on to say kind of some similar things. Here's what we're hearing is that some of the parents and players, especially parents, took offense to some of the things or the tone of the way Coach Ramsay said things after a loss on an occasion or two and didn't like it. And I don't know what that was. We have no idea exactly the tone and what was said. But they didn't like that, and that's when things started to buzz and the noise started to build and the complaints started to come. So it looks like what happens a lot in high school sports. And listen, we know Bobby well, and I like Bobby Ramsay, and I don't know everything that happened at Mandarin. We don't know inside all the programs. There's always a lot of things. There's always two sides to every story. But oftentimes, as we know, in the teaching world and in the coaching world, the high school ranks these days, parents are going to win the day. Kids are going to win the day. And, yeah, the kids should win the day, but sometimes the administration doesn't want to always stand up to the parents, So I don't know where this falls. I just can tell you that happens sometimes. And how much is Bobby Ramsay to blame? I'm sure he takes some culpability in this because he's a good football coach. I don't think it has to do with wins and losses. And, by the way, they have some really young talent that's good. So they are going to be good over the next couple of years if they stay. Now you're talking about a world where everybody leaves, and that could be the case if they did like Bobby Ramsay, whether it's the QB, the wide receiver, the whatever. So it's certainly big news today that Bobby Ramsay, state championship winning coach at the highest level in the state of Florida, a guy that's coached players like Carson Beck and, of course, Derrick Henry, is out and not on his own at Mandarin. So it's a story we'll continue to follow. We'll have it for you tomorrow on the Blitz Scoreboard Show as well at 9 o'clock. Kevin Sullivan will join us and talk a little bit more about it. And then we have our final night of the Blitz Scoreboard Show and the Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30 tomorrow. And before we get you out of here, and I know we're way late, sorry, Casey, Stuart, what you get your eye on tomorrow, man?
Yeah, so playoffs continue. We got round 2, 15 local teams still alive in the pursuit of a state championship. At this point, you got to win 4 more games. So win 4 games, and you are the state champion. So we mentioned some of the teams that are, competing some of the top seeds in their region. You look at a team like Baker County, who's got a home game. That's going to be a great environment as they welcome in West Florida. And I like the idea of seeing an all-local regional final there between Baker County and Rains if both of those teams can take care of business at home. You talk about local versus local matchups. We have that in 1A with the Region 3 regional semifinal. Union County, who is undefeated and probably not happy about being a 3 seed despite being undefeated. Well, here's where they can take it out on Hilliard if they think they can. They got a trip up to Nassau County to take on the Hilliard Red Flashes, and Hilliard had a really good season as well. I mean, they go 9-1 with that one loss to Bluntstown in the SSAC bonus game that they kind of added late in the season to face a team of a fellow high caliber, which was a really cool thing that SSAC did this year, by the way. That's a whole nother topic, though. But yeah, so 2 small town communities. What's that?
And confusing.
Yeah, it's a little confusing that you can be competing for a state championship in the FHSAA, but the final 2 weeks of your regular season, you were also competing for a different SSAC sort of title, which was a little too off game thing. It is a little confusing, yes, but I liked it. I thought it was a cool way to provide a worthy opponent and a way to schedule out those last couple of weeks of the season, even though you don't know your opponent till that last week of the season. So. But anyhow, yeah, two really, communities that love their football, Union County and Hilliard. That will be our de facto game of the week tomorrow on the Friday Night Blitz, so can't wait for that one. But yeah, man, I'm curious and excited to see how some of our other teams coming off the bye do. I mean, you talk about Trinity Christian. They get their playoff run started. Remember, they won a state title a year ago in 3A. This year they're in 2A. So do we see them on that crash course collision, with University Christian in the next round? That's what we expect, but UC's got to go all the way out to the Panhandle and get a win over Monroe, so that's a tough ask for them. And then you talk about Bowles, who hasn't won a football game in like a month and a half. They lost 2 in a row, then they lost games to scheduling because of weather, because of COVID, whatever the reasons may be. I mean, they haven't been able to play a game in like 3 weeks, and the 2 games before that were losses. So we'll be real curious to see how they bounce back. I think they bounce back with a win, but let's see how rusty they are against Gadsden County, who came and beat Jackson a week ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be one to watch. Something we're going to talk about. By the way, tomorrow on the show from like 5 to 6, I think we're going to do Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports, and go through all the committed to the uncommitteds that we started this year, and really love the segment, and update you on their progress this season and what they're doing, and maybe if they have any offers, those kind of things. So that's what we plan to do here on the show, and then we'll recognize another committed to the uncommitted tomorrow night on the Blitz Scoreboard Show, again presented by Baker Sports and UNF Ospreys. Make sure to go to unfospreys.com.
So college coaches, make sure you listen, because this is an easy way for you to hear about 10 guys you should go give an offer to.
Exactly, and I've seen some guys decommit from other places. I think it was one of the Reigns players I saw decommit the other day from UConn.
Because of the coaching nonsense up there.
Yeah. And you're going to see that this time of year. So it'll be interesting to see where some of them land. And, again, the 2022s, they're up against it this year in every sport. And I think it's a segment we're going to keep doing because we've had a lot of fun with it. I think we're onto something here. At least if we're having fun doing it, who cares if we're onto something? But we'll probably do more of them throughout the rest of the year. All right, Weber, we're way up against it now, but we appreciate you coming up for a little bit. You're welcome to stay, but we are going to talk Florida State next, so I don't know if you really want to stay.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm going to go get some work done for Jaguars All Access, go get our video edited for that show, and get us good to go for later tonight.
All right, thanks for stopping up, man. That's Stuart Weber. And make sure you check us all out on the Friday Night Blitz tomorrow night on the TV side. Weber does all our high school coverage, and we have some new things that we're going to unveil in the month of December in the high school ranks as well. We'll be back from String Sports Brewery here in Springfield on ESPN 690. FSU Report coming up next.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Warm today as skies become partly cloudy, an afternoon high near 80. A brief shower this evening as temperatures drop into the upper 50s. And breezy and cooler for your Friday. It'll be partly sunny tomorrow. We'll reach the low 70s by early afternoon, then fall into the 60s by late in the day. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of Berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to let the good times roll. And by roll, I mean roll on home in a brand new Toyota, because Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota has 300 new Toyotas available. And with Arlington's 30-day exchange program and lifetime warranty with every new purchase, buying your new Toyota's more fun than ever. Toyotathon is on at Arlington, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
For 50 years, Taylor has been a leader in caring for the elderly. Providing quality, compassionate care has always been our mission. At Taylor Care Center and Taylor Manor, our recipe for success has always been our exceptional team. They work tirelessly to ensure that your family member gets the best care possible. When residents were not able to spend time with you and your family, our team stepped up to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and special occasions. Our dedicated staff is among the best in the business. Taylor Residents, providing safe, compassionate care every day.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
It's a sale so big, it's been 4 decades in the making.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible 41st anniversary sale, going on now until November 30th.
All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, bracelets, earrings, engagement rings.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off.
We've brought in extra inventory just for this sale.
For over 4 decades, families have been shopping at Beards Diamonds for the absolute lowest prices. Now, to say thank you, everything in the store is discounted up to 41% off.
Nobody beats Beards Diamonds prices.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary, or even shopping early for the holidays,
now you can go even bigger and save thousands.
Beards Diamonds will never be beat on price. Believe it.
Shop the largest inventory in North Florida at Never Seen Savings.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off. But hurry, these savings will only last until November 30th.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Jeeps, Chevys, Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, and more. Toyotathon is on, including all makes and models at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Arlington's got 300 used available. Plus, you'll buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program that comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Toyotathon is on, even on used at Arlington Toyota. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7, and we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Join ESPN 690 on March 5th for the Gate River Run. Registration for the 15K, 5K for charity, Junior River Run, and the Brooks Rehabilitation Mile Challenge is now open at GateRiverRun.com. Training information is available on the website. See you at the starting line.
Just to start, wow, what a game. So proud of our team, just the coaches, everybody involved in the program, the work, the investment, the responding to adversity, the way that we work, everything that we do within our program is there to prepare you for a moment like that.
And what a moment it was for Mike Norvell. He did beat North Carolina, a ranked North Carolina in his first season as head coach, but without a doubt, the biggest win he has as the head coach of Florida State. And that was obviously Florida State's win over Miami, 31-28 last Saturday. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Casey Kurtz, Brent Martineau live from String Sports Brewery. But we're going to talk FSU, and that's kind of my thing for some reason, even though I'm not an FSU fan. But this is weird. I have grown to watch every FSU game. I'm invested because I guess cover them, if you will, for this show at least. So we're going to talk some FSU right here, and then we'll get back with Brent after that, because we are obviously the home of Florida State athletics. That is men's basketball, that is football, that is all of it in Jacksonville. And we'll start with basketball. The FSU report will change into a full-time basketball thing once the season's over, but just a little update on what's going on. They did suffer their first loss of the season to Florida last Sunday. We won't talk about that too much. Tulane was yesterday. They win 59-54, a lot closer than you would want it to be. But at the end of the day, they could not shoot the basketball. They were 12 from 38 from the field. Cameron Fletcher saved them, 11 points in 14 minutes, 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 for 3. From 3, I should say. So they do win the game. That's what's important. And their next game that they will have will be right here in Jacksonville at the Jacksonville Classic. They will be playing LMU. That'll be at 5:30 on Sunday. They will likely play again on Monday if they win that game. So right over here at UNF Arena, if you're an FSU fan in the Jacksonville area, go check that one out, the Jacksonville Classic. That second game likely to be at 8 p.m. as well on Monday. Obviously, you have to win the first one. Let's switch back to football. As I said, 31-28 over Miami. Huge win. FSU goes up 17-0 in the second quarter, 20-7 at the half. They blow the lead. 21 unanswered, puts Miami up 28-20. If you watched the game or saw the highlights, there was a little mix-up. At midfield going to the fourth quarter, both teams emptied the benches and had a little conversation right at midfield. And it worked for one team. It did not work for the other. FSU got 2 huge stops in the fourth quarter on defense. They added a field goal with 4 minutes to play. And Jordan Travis, guy's been incredible. Less than 30 seconds to go, runs in a game-winning touchdown, adds 2 with his legs as well. 31-28, what a game. As a team, Florida State carried the football 48 times, which is what I've been asking them to do all year. Just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They did that 48 times for 160-3, so I'd say it worked out. Jermaine Johnson, you may have heard me talk about him every week since I've worked here pretty much. Not 1, not 2, 3 sacks on the season, 10.5 this year. Guy's going crazy. Boston College is next. Florida after that. He's going to get a few more sacks. You got to trust. 2 interceptions for Florida State as well. Overall, just a really good game on both sides of the ball. Obviously, you hate to give up that lead that you had at the half, but at the end of the day, you get it done. Very emotional game. Goes a long way for Mike Norvell. A lot of recruits in attendance when that happened. So good for Mike Norvell. They got Boston College this week. Boston College is an interesting team. They started 4-0. There was a lot of talk on social media. They were saying from their official accounts that we could be your bandwagon team. That didn't work because then they lost their next 4. And then they've won back-to-back since. So this is the definition of a streaky team. Even with their 6 wins, they trail FSU in the ACC standings. So that should pretty much tell you who they did beat in those first 4 games. Not ACC or really opponents that could even keep up with them. UMass and such. Florida State did get a win with UMass, but still the idea is that this is a run-first team. Their running back this year, Pat Garwo III, has carried the football 170 times. 170 times for 906 yards and 6 touchdowns. They only score about 26 points a game, 26.3 to be exact. So this is not a high-powered offense. They don't throw the ball well, which is an advantage for FSU because Boston College gives up 175.8 yards on the ground per game. Obviously, you know Florida State's going to run the ball. Right there, that's a win for Florida State before they even start the game. If you run the ball like you did against Miami and like you have in the past couple weeks, you win this game easy. Somehow, with the 175 yards on the ground, they only allow 19.9 points per game, but they don't score a lot of points, so it's different. They're not going to outscore you, and they're not really going to keep you down because against good opponents, they have given up points. If FSU can run the ball and they can stop the run, they win this game easy, which is why it's a little more confusing when you look at the spread. I always pull from 3 different places. 2 of those places have FSU +2, which is interesting. They are on the road, have to go to Boston College. I get that. Hard Rock has them at +2.5, +105 money line in all spots. The over-under 45.5, 2 of the spots, 55 on 1. After you saw what they just did to Miami, give me money line. Florida State wins this football game. Are you kidding me? But if you're not 100% sure, +2.5 ain't bad. 2.5. Got that safety blanket, but FSU can win this game. They just have to run the football like they have all season long. Obviously, you can hear that game. Coverage is going to start at 10 a.m., so wake up, pull a Brent Martineau, get some coffee. You know, Brent likes his coffee. Get some breakfast, do what you got to do. And when you drive back into your driveway from getting that coffee, just go ahead and sit in the driveway all day. Coverage starts at 10. Kickoff is at noon, couple hours of postgame after FSU and Boston College. That was the Florida State Report, sponsored by Bono's Pit Barbecue and Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. And we got a lot more to do here. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Have you heard what Lane Kiffin said, apparently? That's interesting. We'll get into it. We got more Jags to talk about. We got picks to make for the Mac Jones game. That's what I'm calling it because the Falcons don't matter to me. The Mac Jones game. We'll do all of that in the next hour and 15 minutes right here on ESPN 690. What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax. If you can't catch the show live, just search Action Sports Jax wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Now, keep in mind, you're sitting next to Mr. Thanksgiving right now because I absolutely stuffed the stat column.
You sure did.
And they called me Mr. Thanksgiving.
Nobody
I don't want to brag.
Nobody called you that.
I don't want to brag.
You called yourself that, maybe.
I don't want to brag. We're talking 4 points.
Yep.
We're talking 2 rebounds.
Yep.
We're talking a steal.
Okay.
We're talking a block.
Yep.
And I almost broke a guy's ankle. I'm just saying, if you find yourselves around some Jacksonville Giants and all of a sudden one of them starts saying, is that stovetop dressing?
Oh, jeez.
What is that? What is that? Is that cranberry sauce? Oh, Mr. Thanksgiving's in the house. And that's who you know they're talking about me.
I'm Elfrida Boney, founder and CEO of Perfectly Suited Career Consulting. I'm proud to be a Jax Chamber member and to serve on the advisory board of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. The JWBC is innovating and adapting, embracing the digital transformation to serve more women in Northeast Florida. For example, we are launching the Network of Trust program that will mentor and vet female business owners, preparing them to take the next step as a company. For more information, visit jaxchamberfoundation.org.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's your ultimate game day experience? A tricked out man cave? Deluxe tailgate? Then enter the 5-hour energy football sweepstakes for a chance to win $10,000. and make your ultimate game day experience a reality. To enter, buy any 5-Hour Energy product and upload the receipt. It's that easy. The 5-Hour Energy Football Sweepstakes. Enter today.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 and a legal resident of the U.S. Ends December 10th, 2021. For official rules and how to enter without purchase, visit 5hesport.com. Void where prohibited.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes. It's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey. After you listen to Action Sports Jax from 3 to 6 and Action Sports Jax OT from 6 to 6:30 today, listen to Thursday Night Football as Jacksonville's own Mac Jones and the Patriots will travel to Atlanta and take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Coverage starts at 8 right here on ESPN 690.
Hey, I want to tell you about a new basketball tournament coming this weekend to the Jacksonville area. It's called the Jacksonville Classic, presented by Fabletics. Florida State headlines the event. They'll play at 5:30 against Loyola Marymount at UNF Arena on Sunday. Now, that's part of a 3-game slate. There are 2 sessions on both Sunday and Monday. 4 games Sunday, 4 games Monday. Now, each session gets you into 2 games. You can check out the website, JacksonvilleClassic.com. UNF Arena is the place. Missouri, SMU, LMU, Florida State, amongst the teams competing. And you can go to JacksonvilleClassic.com for tickets. UNF Arena, Sunday and Monday. Just a few days away, the Jacksonville Classic, presented by Fabletics.
Hey, what's up? It's Austin Lane. Check out Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Brent Martineau along with Casey Kurtz here on a Thursday. Austin Lane has a big fight coming up on Sunday. I was just actually texting back and forth with it's Austin and Scobie and Zach Miller, who were trying to get on the show. And it's really interesting as I'm saying this. Like, Scobie is on this, as I'm texting, I'm realizing all this. These guys all played for the Jags.
Yep.
Let's just say a decade ago. They definitely did a decade ago, and it was parts of other years. But now you fast forward, let's just say 10 years. Austin has a fight on Sunday.
Yep.
Basically like a UFC kind of fight to get to the UFC, hopefully. That's after doing radio both in the morning and afternoon. Scobie joins us on the radio show each and every Tuesdays from Topgolf from 5 until 6 p.m. He wasn't there this past week because he's like at Pinehurst playing in a golf tournament, and he's not a professional golfer, but he's like a professional celebrity tour golfer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you will. And Zach Miller, who had that really bad leg injury, of course, that ended his career in Chicago, he told me Tuesday he didn't respond to the text because he was in the studio recording because he's now a country music singer.
It's incredible.
Think about that. Isn't that crazy? Like, if you weren't doing what you're doing, what would you do?
Yeah, I ask myself that a lot, and it's not fighting, country singing, or golfing. I can well, it might be golfing, but not any good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, like in that vein, would be like, all right, if I wasn't working at a bank, I'd be working at X financial institution. You know?
Right, yeah.
If I was working in communications with the Jags, I'd be working in communications with the PGA Tour or a college. You know, if I'm in the coaching profession, I'm going to coach at some level in that sport. If I'm a teacher, most likely. I mean, it's just wild to me that these guys, I mean, they have, you know, Scobie's a little bit different in the context, but the paths they were on and the paths they are on were and still are pretty unique.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And by the way, are not relatable at all to the other.
No, not even slightly. It's almost it's funny that you're in a group chat with them because like I don't want to say it's a movie, but it's kind of a movie. Just like in your group chat. Like, it's so different and the stuff that they're doing. And it's not like any of these things are easy to do. Like, if you fire me, I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be as hard as, like, I don't know, being in the MMA or singing in front of people. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just go do something normal. They're like, I'm going to do something that only a select few can do, and then I'm going to do something that even a selector few can do. So it's just incredible.
Yeah, I think it's pretty wild to see these guys. And it shows off their talents. Listen, I think part of this is, we did this with Brett Myers in the past, too, and maybe the same as with Zach. I don't know his story as much. Well, listen, if you don't make the kind of money they made playing football, like Zach, I think, did pretty well. Brett did very well in the big leagues. Then you maybe cannot support yourself trying out this music career.
That's true.
Right? So, like, if I wanted to be a country music star and I got out of the business to do it, I'm not sure I had the wherewithal, the money, the everything. Like, I can't just dedicate myself to that. I need a job to pay the mortgage and everything else in the meantime.
Call. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, they do. These guys made some money and are able to then go on to their next career, or they have multiple careers. In Austin's case, especially, right? I mean, he's fighting and he's working in two different, totally different radio formats.
Does
right
everything.
Now. So it's pretty wild. Like, I love it though, and I think that's what makes those guys unique too. We'll see how they do radio together. Hopefully, like on Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully, ideally.
My goal is to have them on. Well, we'll have two of them on. I know that. But
Do we? Do we know?
Well, I think we know. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if we know.
What do we know at this point?
Here's what I know. We have football at 5 coming up.
It's a good call.
And there's a couple of things I want to get into. There's a pro football talk conversation today that had some people buzzing. And also rookie head coaches. How are they doing? We were going to bring this up yesterday. We didn't get to it, and I wanted to save it because I thought it deserved some more time. But Urban Meyer, compared to the rest of the rookie class, if you will, or the new coach class in the NFL, how does everybody stand right now as we're basically halfway through the year? Some have played 10, some have played 9, but we're a little bit more than halfway through the year with a good chunk of the season still to go. So the story has not been completely written on these first-year head coaches in their positions with their teams. We'll get to that when we come back. Football at 5. We're live at String Sports Brewery here on a Thursday. It's ESPN 690.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, French fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, French fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Look, boss, there's another Safe Touch house.
Just play it cool. Drive on by.
Word on the street is these new Safe Touch security video cameras are really pinching the burglary business.
Yeah? How so?
Well, the cameras are integrated with the Safe Touch app, right? So the homeowner gets notified when someone even gets close to the house.
So that protects the entire property then?
Exactly. Driveway burglaries are a thing of the past now with these Safe Touch cameras.
Driveway break-ins. The low-hanging fruit of the burglary biz.
Yup. Boss, I heard someone even got busted for letting their dog poop in someone's yard.
Ha! Caught in the act with a Safe Touch security camera. Priceless.
Yeah, it keeps our job pretty simple. See a Safe Touch sign? Just drive on by.
Now, for a limited time, the SafeTouch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The SafeTouch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to let the good times roll. And by roll, I mean roll on home in a brand new Toyota, because Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota has 300 new Toyotas available. And with Arlington's 30-day exchange program and lifetime warranty with every new purchase, buying your new Toyota's more fun than ever. Toyotathon is on at Arlington, 10939 Atlanta Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Barton Hahn on ESPN Radio.
They could get there. And I know, there's a lot of people that don't want to hear that, but they can get there because the Patriots are doing a lot of the things needed to get there well. They're second in scoring defense. They're really good in red zone defense. They're good in third down defense. They're good in taking away the football on defense.
Patriots and the Falcons, New England, a 6.5-point road favorite according to Caesars Sportsbook. Now, from the no way this cannot be serious file, according to NASA, yes, the space agency, there is going to be a lunar eclipse tonight after the football game. That lunar eclipse is expected to last for 3 hours and 28 minutes. 3 hours 28 after the Patriots and Falcons play.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Ooh, that's it. I know this, you can get 2 on him and he still splits. They move him around, they put him out at number 1, they put him at 3, put him in the backfield. You gotta play tight coverage on him and play inside of him, outside of him. He does a really good job at the catch point where he turns around and and you're basically a little bit out of position. He positions well, like a basketball player. But the big thing he does, like when he catches the ball, he gets a lot of yards after contact. So you got to tackle him. You know, you limit the yards after contact because he does as good a job as anybody after he catches the ball.
It's Joe Cullen on George Kittle, and Kittle's really good, and they have a lot of respect for this guy who can block as well as run the routes. And I think so many times now you're looking at pass catchers at the tight end spot who are electric. Waller comes to mind for the Raiders, right? Well, can they still block? And that's what made Gronk great. But even this guy's different, and these guys are different because of the speed. Gronk's different as in itself, but Kittle can block, Kittle can catch, Kittle can run. That sounds like a T-shirt.
Could be. You're a big T-shirt guy, by the way.
I am a T-shirt guy. Look I got my Dream 18 T-shirt on today. So,
well, maybe that's
Dream
what you would do
everywhere. Yeah, maybe that's what I do. Just make T-shirts. You know, I've had many conversations over the years that have landed on T-shirts.
I believe that.
And even with my mom, at times we would kind of have some creative moments where, I wonder if this would be a good T-shirt. And heck, that was probably some 20 years ago. The T-shirt business is going crazy, so we probably could have stuck with some of those ideas along the way. But, yeah, that could be a T-shirt. Kittle can block, Kittle can catch, Kittle can run, Kittle can score.
That
can. Might be a good one. Brent Martineau here at String Sports Brewery in Springfield, along with Casey Kurtz here at 5, Football at 5, we call it. And we got some football topics. Casey, I think you made a little bit of a list, and so you're going to have to help me out here from yesterday's show because we almost did this yesterday and just never got to it. The first-year head coaches in the NFL, obviously Urban Meyer is one.
Yes.
And we're halfway through the season. We're a little on the other side of halfway through, but we have a pretty good sample size of all the coaches and what they look like right now. And I think it's a good point to talk about it because you still have time to rescue or backtrack potentially on what you're doing with your respective team. And I think there's much hope around here that the 2-7 start hasn't been great, we know. But for the end of the year, you got 8 games to go. And can you win 3? Can you win 4? I don't think many people have gone beyond that. But could you do that and then gain some momentum into the offseason and start to flip this thing? Again, I said this yesterday. If the Jags were to get to 5 wins, that's +4 from last year. If you go by NFL standards, that's pretty good. If you win 4 more games than you did a year ago, problem with the Jags, they had 1. So if you win 6 and now you're +5, that's really good in the NFL, even if you did have 1 the previous year. So I think there's a lot to build on here in Jacksonville. Really watch in the second half of the year. These wins matter. They don't matter for standings. They don't matter for playoffs. They really don't even matter that much for draft position because the Jags are going to pick in the top 10 almost regardless of what happens. But I think it really matters for what Urban Meyer's trying to build, and that's the culture. So we talk a lot about Urban Meyer. We know what's going on here. You guys have your own opinions of Urban Meyer. We have ours. He's gotten through some of the mud over the last month, and I told you yesterday, I told you this week, I think he's got his bravado back a little bit. They found something on defense. If they can get that offense going in any way, shape, or form, I think you'll see the chest puffed out even more from Urban Meyer, and I think you'll start seeing him win some football games too, and then that will even, feel like an Urban Meyer team if they can get some more W's. So something to watch in the second half of the year. But, Casey, take us through some of these other guys and where, hey, would you rather have this guy or Urban Meyer potentially?
Yeah, so I think we'll start with the newest coach that's been in the news, I'd say more than Urban Meyer, especially nationally, and that would be Robert Saleh of the Jets. So that's one. I'll give you the rest. You got Arthur Smith, who will coach tonight for the Falcons. You got Dan Campbell, who cried. You got David Culley, who in his first start as a coach beat the Jags. You got Nick Sirianni in Philly. You got Brandon Staley in L.A. for the Chargers.
And by the way, these are all first-time head coaches.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times you'll get a retread that's just on a new team. That's not the case. Every one of those guys has never been a head coach in the NFL.
Right.
So one thing we can compare, and even with Urban Meyer, who has been head coach, of course, is that we can compare rookie seasons. This is his rookie season in the NFL, and this is a rookie head coaching season for all these other guys on the list that you just sent and gave. So let's start with Robert Saleh. Saleh has run into trouble this week because he acknowledged Rex Ryan, right?
Yes.
And that's become a big story. I think it's an overblown story. It's a very New York media story. Rex Ryan kind of bashed Saleh. Saleh's a really good dude. I'm going to side with Saleh anyway because I'm biased toward him. I think he's a really good guy. And I think he's a really good football coach, too. The one thing that has me concerned about Saleh right now, well, two things. The defense, I've said this a lot about Gus Bradley. I've said this about every coach. If you're a defensive guy, you want your defense at least getting better or playing well. If you're an offensive guy, you like your offense getting better or playing well. And right now the Jags are in a little bit of that not playing so well with an offensive-minded coach. Well, the Jets are really that way with the defense. I mean, you saw they gave up 45. They just got torched by the Bills. I mean, they are not a good defense right now. And they have some players on that side of the ball. Not great. They have some players on that side of the ball. So I think Saleh, these last however many games, whatever their record is, I think it's the same 2-7. So the rest of the 8 games, they have to get going on defense. The problem Gus Bradley had here in Jacksonville is he tried to get the offense going along with Dave Caldwell before the defense. And I think that hurt him because if you're a defensive guy, make sure your defense is at least playing well. And I think Saleh right now, that's hurting him. I think Saleh's going to be a really good coach. What I'm starting to think about is maybe it's on his second go-around.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's a young enough guy where he gets another chance down the road, and he does an okay job with New York over the next few years, but he's not like the guy to bring New York back to where they want it to be. There's just a lot going on in New York right now, although I haven't given up on him. It's been a messy start. He's probably the worst of coaches. I think even Urban Meyer you could put in the messy start category, but I think there's less faith right now in Saleh than there even is in Meyer.
Yeah.
If you look across the league, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, look, what happened with Rex Ryan, it's not funny if you're a Jets fan, but it is funny that he told him he knows where to find him. I like the idea of that your coach has that fire in him. But yeah, New York took that and ran. My problem with Robert, you make a good point about the defense. They've given up it's like 124 points in 4 games, which is not good. But what's going on with your quarterback situation? It's Zach Wilson, then it's Mike White. Then Mike White's not ready. Josh Johnson's apparently on the roster. Now it's Joe Flacco. What are we doing here? I don't get how. I don't know why you handle it the way that he has.
Well, I think, listen, you thought you were screwed when Wilson went down. You're like, I got nothing. Why didn't we get more, right?
Yeah.
We got Josh Johnson and Mike White. Well, then Mike White starts playing well. And then you kind of buy into the Mike White hype a little bit.
Oh,
and now the Mike White falls off the table a little bit. And then you go get Joe Flacco just because, again, I think I'd rather have Blake Bortles than Joe Flacco, honestly.
Yeah.
But everybody's criticizing this move to Flacco, and I actually think it's a good move by Saleh.
Really?
And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Flacco's not great.
No.
The Jets might not play that great against Miami. But you know what's really hard for young, inexperienced quarterbacks? Team that blitzed the hell out of you. On third down this year, the Jags are getting blitzed. They're blitzing Trevor Lawrence. Third down this year, the Jags are struggling. There's a reason why people blitz young quarterbacks. You know who they don't blitz a lot? Old quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I'm giving you very good ones. I know Flacco isn't in that ilk, but Flacco's played a lot. And so if Miami's going to do what they did last week to Lamar Jackson, where they basically went zero blitz the entire game, well, maybe bringing Flacco in so he knows where to go with the football quickly and is not indecisive actually gives you the best chance to win this football game against this team with the style they're going to play.
Yeah.
So I actually buy into playing Flacco this week more than Mike White, where I think they would just have really no chance to function as an offense because this guy wouldn't know what to recognize and see and read.
No, that's an interesting thought that I had never really thought of. To me, I just saw it as you got to play Mike White to see what you have. And I think part of this is, look, Zach Wilson hasn't been that good. And not all the guys. Well, kind of. All the guys that got picked after Zach Wilson, besides Trey Lance, Justin Fields, once we let him play a little bit, he looks pretty good. Mac Jones, really good. So when you couple in the fact that there's some at least question about did you pick the right quarterback at 2, and now you can't figure out which one to play in the Joe Flacco. I just think the way that it's been handled in general by Robert Saleh has not been great.
Yeah, I don't know the best way to handle it on the offensive end for Saleh. I mean, they just have no answers. Wilson wasn't good. Their offensive line wasn't good. They couldn't get anything going. I mean, they didn't score points in the first quarter until like week 6.
It's a problem.
And their defense actually got off to a better start, and now it's regressing. But again, that's like guys like Quincy Williams played out of their mind for a couple of weeks, and now Quincy, who we know here, and everybody's like, I can't believe they let him go. Nobody's saying that anymore,
That's true.
And so, anyway, Saleh is right now with the Rex Ryan stuff, with the record, with the mess they have, and we don't know if Zach Wilson even is showing signs of development, right? He's hurt, and he's played awful most of the time, and it's been a train wreck a lot of the time when he is on offense. They do have at least 2 wins. Got to give him credit for that, and improbable over the Titans somehow that they got that one. Same as the Jags, though, over the Bills. So that's the Saleh story. Right now it's probably the saddest story of the rookie head coaches in the NFL, I think most people would say. All right, who else we got?
Arthur Smith. You want to go there?
Yeah, Arthur Smith tonight. This is interesting, right? I think he's been a little up against it because if you look at, or they lost Julio Jones and now the Calvin Ridley situation.
Yeah.
And so this guy comes in as an offensive guy and he's, they're trying to find their way. And then Calvin Ridley's like, hey, I'm not going to play anymore for now. And that's a different situation, and that's fine, but it really hurts them offensively. I mean, he's a dynamic player. I think they've battled a lot. Now, they also have lost. They got crushed last week. They still feel like the team over the years that hasn't been able to figure out how to get a win in close games. They play a lot of close games. I wonder, though, if Arthur Smith's biggest mistake right now is his, falling in love nature with Matt Ryan. And I don't know if they should move on from Matt Ryan. He still loves Matt Ryan, it sounds like, from what he says in the press.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the right move. I'm still not sold on Arthur Smith. And listen, they're getting some good play out of a guy like A.J. Terrell in the secondary. I've told you this. The reason why I liked Atlanta is I think they are not as bad as their record said they were last year. They have a better football team than what their record said. And so the 4-5 record doesn't shock me. They'll probably get 7 wins. And quite frankly, that's not bad and might be amongst the best out of the rookie coaches, given some of the issues that he's even had with Calvin Ridley and losing Julio Jones and some other things.
Yeah, I think another thing that has been done for Atlanta this year that is kind of hard to believe, and it's almost like a what year is it thing, but Cordarrelle Patterson is a problem for the opposing defense. He is a full-on weapon. And that's someone that when I think of him, I think of kick return, punt return. But he's lines up as a receiver, as a running back, and I mean Arthur Smith has to play into that because that wasn't a thing before I can't say his name. Arthur Smith got there. But yeah, I mean Kyle Pitts is coming on now, but it's a tough it's a tough situation, right? When you lose, obviously Julio Jones, you traded him, so it's different. Calvin Ridley, and now you got receivers who, can you even name them at this point? Your number one receiver is Russell Gage.
Yeah, but like you said about Patterson, they've used him right? They're getting the most out of a guy like Patterson, who most people hadn't even heard about in the last couple of years. And Pitts is developing. And Pitts, you look at the numbers and the Pro Football Focus numbers, all this stuff, he's starting to develop and play. So I think you got to give some credit to Arthur Smith there. I think he's doing an adequate job. He's not whoa, my gosh, this guy's going to win Super Bowls in Atlanta. But I actually think they're dangerous tonight for the New England Patriots, too.
Really? That's interesting you say that, because the way I look at it is with no receivers and Cordarrelle Patterson is questionable as well. Don't you think Belichick will be able to find a way to get rid of Kyle Pitts, just take him out of the game?
He usually tries to do that. Can you match up with that guy, and can you take him out of the game? Easier said than done. I bet the Rams tried to take Deebo Samuel out of the game a little bit last week, and they found ways to get it to him. So
that's a good point.
Belichick's been very good over the years of doing that. All right, let's move on. We hustle through these. What else we got?
We got Dan Campbell and David Culley are the next 2 we got.
All right, so Culley got off to a great start. Culley's in an impossible situation. Culley is like the Band-Aid on a really, really big-time mess in Houston. And I think they still are that way, and I don't think they figured it out. And you talk about a tough job, but also one of no expectation. If they win 2 games this year, that would be like a victory for the Houston Texans.
Agreed.
But he's a stopgap guy, and he's there to fix things as much as he can because he's a good man, it looks like. He got off to a really good start. They've been competitive at times. Davis Mills has actually come along and played better than I thought he ever could for them with that team and what surrounds him. So I think he's done a pretty decent job. The thing is, he doesn't have to do anything else. In fact, they'll buy him beer at the bar if he doesn't win again.
Yeah.
They want the first or second pick. As for Dan Campbell, I don't think this is going to work for Dan Campbell, and I don't think he's really acquitted himself that great. I mean, why would Dan Campbell does it work to say, man, they're playing hard, they're tough? Like, that doesn't work in the NFL. Nobody buys that stuff. Yet for Dan Campbell, for the first month, it was like, man, they're really playing hard. They're tough. I mean, look at that. I mean, they're mentally tough. They're hanging around. Like, okay, so what? Like, they're supposed to play hard. They're supposed to be tough. It's the NFL. It's a violent game. But Dan Campbell, because he's tough and whatever with kneecaps and all that other stuff, and then the crying thing, I get it. He cares. He's passionate. But that didn't work for me. Like, and it hasn't. Look at ever since he cried. They haven't played that well. Now, they did get a tie. They got a tie against the Ben Roethlisberger-less team in Pittsburgh. So, and they've really gotten – they've really been beaten badly a few times in that stretch too. I'm not a big Dan Campbell fan right now. I don't know where they're going. Now, I will say this, in fairness to him, and Austin brings this up a lot talking about the Detroit Lions, they do not have much.
Nothing, some would say.
They do not have much. Like, they really don't have much. I mean, Jared Goff is just okay, and he's not surrounded by a lot. I did say this on Twitter at the start of the hour on Football at 5 here on ESPN 690. I don't understand how a guy like Tim Boyle, whoever that is, can have a job and be playing this week potentially with Goff out, and a guy like Blake Bortles doesn't have a gig in the NFL. Like, I really don't get it. I don't understand how you could say, if you're trying to win football games, like Blake Bortles wouldn't be better than Tim Boyle. Like, who is that? I read somewhere he had 12 touchdowns and 26 interceptions in his collegiate career.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I think it was like
how
at
he has
Holy
a job.
Cross or something.
Yeah,
I don't get how that guy's on the team and Blake Bortles doesn't have a job. I mean, they're trying to save money. Is that the rookie contract thing? I mean, it's like $600,000 difference. Come on. So I don't like where this is going for Dan Campbell. He does not have a lot of help with the personnel right now. They have a lot of fixing to do. Goff's not the answer, most likely. But this whole toughness, then crying thing, I don't think it worked for him. I really don't. I don't think I don't see them winning more than like a game down the stretch. Maybe they will. But I don't think they do. And that's a tough division because Chicago's playing a little bit better. Minnesota's really good, and Green Bay's really good.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Dan Campbell because, to your point, I don't know who's on their team. Jared Goff's not any good, in my opinion. DeAndre Swift is good, but I looked it up because I was trying to trade for him in fantasy in a different league. That was the first game that he had like 33 carries, but that was the first game he had more than like 22 carries. So I don't know what they're doing on offense, but they should do more with DeAndre Swift. So I don't know how to feel about Dan Campbell. I don't know who their players are, but they do play hard. But to your point, what does it really matter? He cried. So that's what I'm going to be stuck with.
Listen, the Jags play hard too, but they've got 2 wins. And if I sit here all day for 3 hours a day and say the Jags played hard, nobody cares about that.
What would you do if Urban cried, though?
I wouldn't probably be a fan of it.
I didn't think so.
Here's the other part about, like, he cried like 4 games into the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little early to cry. I think your sweet spot for crying is like week 12 to 14.
Like December?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
We got Nick Sirianni and we got Brandon Staley. I guess we might have saved I don't know about the best, but the most promising for last.
It depends which way you want there, right? I mean, because I'm interested. Let's go to Philly first.
Okay.
How did I do? Who's most promising, Staley or Sirianni?
I think Staley's got better players.
Yeah, I do too. Sirianni, here's what you could say. First of all, I think they've already done better than I thought they would. They've got 4 wins.
4 wins and a very easy schedule left.
And they do have an easy schedule. So he has a chance really between him and Atlanta, I think. Well, the Chargers too. So those 3 have a chance to really get the W's out of this class. And I think what he's done with Hurts has been pretty good. Like, now everybody's saying good things about Hurts. 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, man, when are they bringing in Gardner Minshew? There's been a lot of garbage time stats with Hurts, though, if you look deep into the numbers, if you want to admit it. But the fact is, they've won 4 football games right now with Hurts. And so if they're 4-6, that's pretty good because I don't think that team has a lot. And so I think Sirianni, who started his campaign with an odd press conference, is I think he's doing pretty well, man. I think keep an eye on him out of this rookie class. I still think there's a decent chance, given their schedule, that they finish with 7 or 8 wins, and he has the most wins out of any of these rookie quarterbacks here this season.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's very possible. And he figured out, I guess they as a team figured out that they got to get Devonta Smith the ball. The last 2 weeks he's had like 6 and 8 catches, I believe, and they've won those games. So
yeah, and he's coming on.
Yeah.
All right, so that leaves us Staley in L.A. in the Chargers. And the Chargers we're in a really good situation. Like, awesome start for Staley. You said it. They have the quarterback. They have people that have been here. They have good players. And the thing about the Chargers is Anthony Lynn got fired not because they weren't that good. It's because they couldn't win close games.
Right.
That was it. They could not win close games. Like, they were in every game, and they couldn't win them. And they won those games early. Now, all of a sudden, they have had some weird couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They don't look the part. Like, did the Patriots figure something out? And now everybody's going to figure it out. Is there a blueprint? Are they not going to be as good? Because Herbert looks a little bit lost. They've lost a couple of games that they really haven't even been in. And now you got to be a little concerned for the Chargers, which direction they were headed. It looked for a time there that them and Cincinnati were about to break through and be kind of the darlings of the AFC. Now you really wonder about both teams.
Yeah, you do, and the Patriots obviously did figure something out, but that's no surprise. But I think Justin Herbert's really good, and I think when you have that on your side, it works for you. They're weird in the sense of, like, Austin Eckler is a very good running back, but he's not like a workhorse back, and they only hand it to him like 12, 11 times a game. So I wonder how that weighs into what they do on offense and if that'll have to change at some point when you don't have a guy you can rely on 20-something times a game. But I think when you have the quarterback and Herbert, I think it'll work itself out eventually. And obviously you're going to lose Hunter Henry and replace him with Jared Cook, so that hurts. Not that that's really – maybe that's not a regression thing, but it hurts Justin Herbert, so maybe that's something you have to address in the offseason. But I like where the Chargers are, and the way I see it, and I don't know if you feel this way, same with the Bengals, they're ahead of schedule, are they not?
Yeah, I think because of their fast start, but they're getting into dangerous territory now. And I think the Chargers play the Steelers this week. Then they go to the Broncos. Those are very winnable games if they're a good football team. Then they play the Bengals. Then they play the Giants. Then they play the Chiefs and the Texans and the Broncos and the Raiders. I mean, they have a chance to if they're good, they might get to 10 wins.
Right.
Right? Easy.
Yeah.
And win the division potentially. And they beat the Chiefs? Yeah, they beat the Chiefs once. So there's a chance they lose to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are playing better by the time they play them in a month.
They did beat the Chiefs on the road, though, so the Chiefs do have to come to L.A.
They do. So I would say I think the Chargers will find it. They're just too talented. I kind of like that guy out there, too. I like his press conferences at the very least.
Big press conference guy.
He's a big press conference guy. Big like philosophy guy.
Oh, that's a good one.
And so it'll be – if you could pick one guy of all this. Now, obviously, Urban's not going to do it probably. I think Jags end up with like 5 wins, maybe 6. Culley, they hope he ends up with 1 win probably. Saleh has got 2, maybe he ends up with like 4. Who knows? Those 3 are out. So then you got Campbell. Well, he isn't. Maybe 1 or 2, it looks like. So those 4 are out. So now you got 3 guys, Arthur Smith, Sirianni, and Staley. 4, 4, and 5 wins right now. Who ends up with the most wins?
I really think that the Eagles are going to win a lot of games down the stretch, and I think with Atlanta, you're going to have to at least play Tampa, and with New Orleans, they all just seem to beat each other, so I think that's going to hurt them, and I don't think they win tonight, so that's another step back. And the Chargers, they have the Steelers this week at home, so that's something. You get the Giants, but Texans as well, but there's just tougher games in their schedule, and I really think the Eagles can beat the Giants twice. They're going to beat Washington at least once. So I guess I'm going with Sirianni and the Eagles.
Yeah, they do have a very easy schedule, relatively speaking, to the other 2 teams that I mentioned. I think Staley and the Chargers. And here's why. I think Chargers is better. I don't know if it's because of Staley. I think Chargers are pretty good. I don't really think the Eagles are that good. And I think we're going to get a mixed bag on Jalen Hurts. So I don't see them rolling off like 4 wins in a row, even if it's against relatively easier competition. I think the Chargers will get it done. Atlanta has a harder schedule in the NFC South, by the way, and they still have to play the Bills. So they do get the Lions, they get the Jags, but I can't trust the Atlanta Falcons. Although, maybe I think they win tonight.
Oh, boy. Here he goes.
Or maybe just cover.
I don't know if they're doing that either.
Night picks. We're going with our Thursday night football picks when we come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We're live at String Sports Brewery here in Springfield until 6 o'clock. Jaguars All Access at 7 o'clock. Coming up on Fox 30 from Strings as well. And then on ESPN 690 right after this show, Casey and Brian Middleton, Action Sports Jax overtime until 6:30. They'll stream it until 7. And then football on ESPN 690 and Fox 30 tonight. It's the Patriots and the Falcons. So before we hit a break, we got Rick on as we're getting a commercial. Let's stop and do our Florida Sportsman Fishing Report with Captain Rick Riles. What's up, Captain? Captain Rick, what's happening?
Hey, how we doing, Brent?
We're doing well. About ready to head to commercial break, but we stopped it just for you.
Let me rush through it then. I'll tell you what, we did not get the wind that they called for today. It was calmer than what we thought it'd be. I'm sure that cost a lot of guys a day on the ocean yesterday, continuing to get good reports from the last few days yesterday. My buddy Tim on Who's Your Daddy had a 60-pound wahoo, had a 30-pound wahoo, and one about 23. Lots of reports of sailfish. I know several of the St. Augustine boats had 2 or 3 sailfish. Inshore, David Boreas reported that the temperature has dropped just enough for the trout to be biting. If you want to catch trout, particularly on surface lures, now is the time. Tomorrow, the wind, again, scheduled to pick up out of the northeast. We'll see whether it comes through this time or not, but we'll be back to talk about it tomorrow afternoon with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping, who is hiring top landscapers and paying top pay. Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Captain Rick. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good night, man. We'll be back, String Sports Brewery here in Springfield on ESPN 690. By the way, Tim, Who's Your Daddy? Must be a Pedro Martinez fan, Red Sox fan. I like that. It's a good name of the boat.
It's all right.
We've done that segment before, like what would you name your boat? It's a good segment. It's fun. We'll save it for the summer. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A brief light sprinkle or shower in a few spots this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, dropping into the upper 50s. Partly cloudy, breezy, and turning cooler Friday. We reach the low 70s through the early afternoon and then falling temperatures. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter.
Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Ian Eagle here from Westwood One with a preview of Thursday Night Football. We'll open Week 11 in Atlanta with the Falcons hosting the 6-4 New England Patriots. After a slow start to the season, the Pats are now on a 4-game winning streak and coming off a big victory over the Browns. Up next, a rematch of Super Bowl 51 as they face Matt Ryan and the 4-5 Falcons. Ryan says moving past last week's blowout loss to the Cowboys is just part of the job.
Obviously, it was an ugly game, but it's just one. And you will find out about guys, the way we come in, the way we get prepared, the way we get ready to go on a short week, and hopefully the way we perform. Hopefully we'll find out a lot of good things about guys.
Tony Baselli joins me in the booth for the call of the Patriots at the Falcons on Thursday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at westwood1sports.com. And remember to listen for the NFL right here all season long.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The NFL is on. Key, Jay, and now Max Kellerman.
Here's a guy that you drafted in the first round that you think could potentially be the successor to Aaron Rodgers in the future, but could he at least be a damn backup?
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Well, you know, we're doing things to put him in the position to get the ball. We're going to even make more adjustments with that and just continue to hunt ways to get it to him. You know, it's sometimes the defense has stuff to say about it, like when you're just sending them down the field. So you can see some of the other things that we've tried to do with it, and we'll keep working in that area.
That is Darrell Bevel as they kind of try to figure out the offense of the Jacksonville Jaguars and get them going and get them scoring. Again, 23 points the high of the season. That's ridiculous in 9 games. I mean, you got to be better than that, and they haven't. And I can't imagine maybe Detroit hasn't scored higher than 23, but I bet they have. Jags probably have the season low in terms of their high point total of 2021, but maybe I'll look that up now that I say it. Brent Martineau back here at String Sports Brewery in Springfield. We've got Shaq Griffin on the show tonight for Jaguars All Access, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. We've got football tonight, the Atlanta Falcons, the New England Patriots, and Casey Kurtz along the way. Austin Lane will have his pick mailed in, by the way, in an envelope, most likely, as he is on his way to Houston for a fight on Sunday. UFC Fight Pass, the way to get that. It's a big fight for Austin. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but big weekend for Austin Lane, and can't wait to see what happens Sunday night. Get the W. The Atlanta Falcons, what pick did they have last year in the draft? Do you remember?
I believe he was 4th.
The Falcons were? Yeah, because that's when they got Pitts.
Yeah.
So the Falcons could have had Mac Jones.
Yes.
They also could have had Justin Fields.
Also, yes.
Should they have?
I don't know. Like, it's very, like, I believe that Matt Ryan is still kind of good. And Kyle Pitts is really generational, and having a good tight end goes a long way. But I guess it's easy to look back and say you pick Mac Jones. I like where they are making the pick of Kyle Pitts. I think that stands up. Now, this isn't a very quarterback-friendly draft, and I don't even know if you're going to replace Matt Ryan yet, but I would say I think they did the right thing.
Well, here's the deal. If Mac Jones is really good, Justin Fields we don't know yet, but Mac Jones is putting up really good numbers, and he's been sensational this rookie season. I love Mac, Jacksonville guy. I think Mac's playing excellent football going all the way back to see his last year at Alabama. So I think Mac deserves a lot of credit, so I hesitate to say anything because then I'm like, oh, this sounds like you're taking away from Mac. Not what I'm doing. I just think Mac is in such a good situation. I gave you the numbers yesterday. The defense and the rushing attack of the New England Patriots over the last month, which is a 4-game winning streak for the New England Patriots, and Mac's best football, is number 1 in the league. So is Mac impacting that, or are those things impacting Mac's play? I would say most likely those things are impacting Mac's play, making him comfortable, putting him in good situations to be successful, more than any other quarterback right now in the NFL from a rookie standpoint. So would Mac Jones be doing this in Atlanta? I would say probably not.
Same.
He also wouldn't have Kyle Pitts, and he wouldn't have Calvin Ridley now that they would have planned on. But I do think if he continues to play good football and he's the guy, which it looks like he's going to be the guy in New England for a long time, then the answer to this question is, yeah, they made a mistake. Tight end or no tight end. If you could have got a quarterback that's going to lead you for the next 12 or 15 years, Matt Ryan's only going to be with you for another couple. And so, yeah, I think they misfired on the quarterback spot is the way to answer this question as of now. I think they could have brought Mac in. They could have brought Justin Fields in. And really, maybe Justin Fields would have been in a really good situation. Of course, he's an Atlanta area guy, that he could have sat behind Matt Ryan for a bit. And now you still have your guy for the future. So, yeah, I actually believe, and I know Kyle Pitts is going to be good. And Kyle Pitts is good. But the quarterback's the quarterback. And they had a chance to reset the quarterback position. And I think they missed an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that Mac Jones would be as good as he is right now in Atlanta. And I think you've documented it a lot with quarterbacks that have been here. If you go out and have a rough and tough first year and your confidence isn't high, who knows what that does for the rest of your career. Mac Jones not only is playing well, but he's in a great situation. I'm sure his confidence has never been higher than what it is right now. And I think that plays in. I don't know if Mac Jones would be that with Atlanta. I don't have the offensive pressure numbers from the offensive line and all that, but I have to imagine New England's offensive line is a little bit better. So that's why I would lean towards, I don't think they were, I think Kyle Pitts at this moment in time was an okay move for them to make. Now if Mac becomes Tom Brady, then yeah, obviously. But I think there's too many questions about what would Mac Jones have been with Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's certainly something to be said for that. But listen, I'm not just saying this about Atlanta. I'm saying this about Carolina. Carolina should have doubled down on the quarterback spot. It was risky business getting Sam Darnold. There was nothing guaranteed about Sam Darnold. There's a little bit more guaranteed about Matt Ryan. You know who he is.
Sure.
But when the quarterback position is of this much importance and you have guys that are good and still sitting there when you're picking, you screwed it up. There's a really good chance that Carolina screwed this thing up too, and now they're back to Cam Newton 3 quarterbers later.
Yeah, what are the odds?
So, I mean, so keep them. We're gonna look. We've done this with the Jags before, right? Passing on Watson, passing on Mahomes, and a lot of teams have done that over the years, and you can do it with every team almost every year. But I think there was this consensus that this is a pretty good quarterback class, and they had. I don't think there was that much decisiveness by saying, hey, Mac Jones and Justin Fields aren't very good. There weren't half the teams I don't think they're very good. I just don't think there was that. When Johnny Manziel came out, there were half the teams, if not 2/3 of the teams in the league, I wouldn't touch them.
Right.
Right? That's not the case with these guys. And so I think those people that passed and needed quarterback or could need quarterback down the road, I think they made a mistake on it. All right, all that to get to the game tonight. The Patriots, Mac Jones has 6 wins. That is more than all the rookie quarterbacks combined this year, which really shouldn't surprise you. I mean, the rookie QBs that were picked, they're playing on struggling teams, all of them, except for Mac. and Mac and the Patriots are playing well. So what do? You got first dibs on this Thursday night game. Give us the odds, give us the over-under, and then you decide what you want to do. Pick a winner, pick the spread, or pick the over-under.
Yeah, I can do all those things, and I'll start with the spread. It is New England minus 6.5, which means obviously Atlanta plus 6.5. By the way, fun fact, Patriots 6-4 on the season, 6-4 against the spread as well. Atlanta 4-5 on the season, 4-5 against the spread as well. So that's weird. I think
the Jags are 2-7 on the season. Going into last week, they were 2-6, and they were 2-6 with the spread stuff too.
That's so weird.
Now they're 3-6 with the spread because they covered.
Oh yeah, they
and
did.
They're 2-7 on the season. Okay, go ahead.
So you got the over/under at 47, and obviously the odds are in favor of New England. And yeah, I have first pick because I'm horrible at this. But Brent, here's the thing. I like to live dangerously. There is no chance on the planet that this game is under 47. Give me over 47 points.
Really?
Mac Jones is going to score points. The Atlanta Falcons.
Clapping for you, Brian Middleton?
No, I'm clapping for myself. I need.
Oh.
He's like making faces at me like, what are you doing? But here, you got to make things happen. I'm clapping for myself. Mac Jones is putting points up. Falcons are putting points up. 47, no-brainer. Might have it in the first half.
All right. I think Austin's up next, right?
Yes, he would be. So here's what we got.
Austin, what do you think?
Well, what? So here's what's funny. I read his text wrong. He did not give me a direct winner. So you picking third you're gonna get to pick the winner.
So what, he never gave a winner?
He gave me an over-under and he gave me a spread. Now, granted, his spread would give you the winner, but he didn't straight up tell me who's winning, so...
Well, he should take the win. He would take the winner, though. If he thinks like the Patriots are going to cover...
He does.
Well, then he would take that.
All right, hey, I'm just trying to make it hard on the guy.
Well, yeah, I know. But, I mean, if you had the option, because he probably thought you were going to take just the outright winner.
Well, that'd be the normal thing to do, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Which just kind of sets me up nicely. I'll take the 6.5 points for Atlanta. Is that what it is, 6.5?
6.5, yeah.
I actually think the Falcons are going to upset the Patriots today.
Really?
Yeah. I know I wouldn't have picked that outright. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger.
You needed the points.
I think I did in my fight for the fedora on TV.
There you go.
Just because I need some catching up to do, but I'm in a different position here. But I actually think that Falcons are going to win the game.
That is fascinating. I don't know how you feel that way, but, hey, more power to you.
Did you think the Dolphins were going to beat the Ravens last week?
No, I did not. I picked Ravens outright. But all I know is...
Welcome to the NFL.
That's a good point. All I know is both teams are scoring in the 30s, and I'm going to be sitting pretty in the third quarter. That's all I know.
Keep in mind, hey, the one thing that's interesting here, and now listen, I think Trevor did a good job of this going to Cincinnati because he played okay in that Cincinnati game. But the rookie quarterback going on the road on a short week, that's a really new thing.
That's true.
For Mac Jones, you know?
Yeah.
And they have just had a lot of stuff going their way. I think it's a little bit of a desperate game for Atlanta coming off a miserable performance, and it just seems like the way the league's cooking. Most of the time, Atlanta plays pretty close games, so I like the 6.5. But I actually think they're going to pull it out. I think it's going to be a big performance by the Falcons. We'll see what happens on Thursday Night Football. You can hear the game on ESPN 690. Of course, you can watch the game on Fox 30. It's Thursday Night Football, Patriots and Falcons. And did you see what the Patriots tweeted out earlier?
I did not.
This was classic. You know, everybody always references 28-3.
Yes.
And I'm not a Patriots or a Falcons fan, so it's whatever to me. But where did I know I retweeted this. Yeah, I did. Hold on. Hang on tight. Patriots tweet, we weren't going to mention it, but you can't make this stuff up. Partial lunar eclipse tonight to last 3 hours and 28 minutes.
What are the odds, dude?
That's a story.
That's incredible.
Says the partial lunar eclipse will last 3 hours and 28 minutes. Man, Falcons fans will never live that down. But the Atlanta Braves are the world champs.
That they are.
So you got that going for you. We'll be back on ESPN 690. Put a bow on the show with a little baseball. MVP awards handed out tonight. Who is going to win? Oh, Vlad or Ohtani. A bet will be decided tonight. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue. And it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewels.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia, Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The COVID-19 vaccine, there's so much news about it, but what's true and what's not? Before you pass on its protection, get all the facts. Elder Source can help with a free workshop given at your church or organization. Learn how the vaccine works, potential side effects, and where you can get a free one. Encourage your church or organization's leadership to book a free workshop by visiting myeldersource.org/COVID.
Boss, got some bad news in the Crooks R Us newsletter.
Uh-oh, what is it?
The headline reads, Safe Touch Security proven to be more dangerous to crooks than ever before.
Let me guess. Is it the guaranteed response? No, it's gotta be the two-way communicator, right?
Actually, it's the new integrated Safe Touch Security video cameras.
Great. Safe Touch up in their game again.
Boss, now the homeowner gets notified on the Safe Touch app if someone even approaches their house.
It just doesn't seem fair.
Nowadays, getaway cars aren't even safe. Those Safe Touch systems catch everything.
Well, the good news is it doesn't change a thing. We still just stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule, stay away from Safe Touch houses. Remember that and everything will be fine.
Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Jeeps, Chevys, Fords, Hondas, Toyotas, and more. Toyotathon is on, including all makes and models at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Arlington's got 300 used available. Plus, you'll buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program that comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Toyotathon is on, even on used at Arlington Toyota. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
Once in a lifetime savings.
Before the holidays?
It's never been done before.
Beard's Diamond's incredible 41st anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 41% off.
Believe it.
But it's only happening till November 30th.
If you're getting married, celebrating an anniversary, or shopping early for the holidays,
you do not want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime sale.
Beard's Diamonds always has the largest inventory in North Florida. But now there's even more.
Designers have sent their best stuff, especially for this sale.
Loose diamonds, mounted diamonds, diamond earrings, necklaces, and more.
All on sale up to 41% off.
Beard's Diamonds has been family-owned and operated in Jacksonville for over 41 years. And to say thank you, they're discounting everything in the store up to 41% off.
A sale so big, it's never been done before because Beard's Diamonds will never be beat on price.
Beard's Diamonds 41st anniversary sale, now through November 30th.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Throughout the year, There were times, like I said last week, they really played well, but now we got to put 4 quarters together, and they did that obviously against Buffalo, and then we didn't start well, but then they drew the line in the sand and said enough is enough, and let's get the ball back for the offense. So I just think as they continue to grow, continue to play with one another within the system, they're just getting better and feeling more comfortable with what they're doing, and playing. They're playing physical and fast. And when you know what to do, you can play fast.
That is Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator. We got a lot to get to in about 4 minutes, so let's do it right now. MVP awards coming out in Major League Baseball. As we're live from String Sports Brewery in Springfield, taking you up until 6 o'clock. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jax overtime from 6 until 6:30. And then we've got NFL football tonight on ESPN 690, Patriots and Falcons. Vlad or Ohtani, who wins the MVP in the AL, Casey Kurtz?
How could it not be Ohtani?
You know, it's so funny. You know, Austin and I obviously have this thing back and forth, and it's more just kind of in fun, and I think he knows how good Ohtani has been, too. I think it has to be Ohtani as well. But they finished so far out of the race. Vlad and Toronto have this huge surge late, so I can see some momentum for him. My buddy Pat, I talk to him like every day, and I didn't talk to him recently about this, but back during the season, he's like, I don't get it. He's like, I don't understand how anybody could think Ohtani is the MVP. Look at his numbers versus, like, Vlad's numbers. I was like, Pat, he pitches as well. Like, he throws 100 miles an hour. Right. Nobody's done this since Babe Ruth. He wasn't buying it. Like, he just thought, if you look at the average and 30 points difference and the numbers and all that stuff, well, collectively, I think it stops here. If you ask a voter that this guy did something that nobody in baseball has done since Babe Ruth at this kind of level, not one time, but like for an entire season, I think the conversation stops right there. That's it.
Should.
Like, I don't care if Vlad hit 400.
Well,
maybe
yeah.
that would have been different.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Because that one hadn't happened for a long time too, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's Ohtani as well. I think it's probably closer than people think. And I think it's a great debate and argument and fun one because Vlad played so well. National League now, it's wide open, as you tell me. The odds say wide open. As good as the MVP candidates are in the American League, and so deserving, we saw some things that we just hadn't seen, and Ohtani especially. The MVP in the National League is very, like, blah to me. Like, I like Bryce Harper. But if you tell me Bryce Harper's MVP, I was like, oh, really? Like, he had that good a year?
Yeah.
And then, you know, Tatis started so great and then really fizzled in a lot of ways. They had to even move him to right field. His defense was so bad. He's an electric player. I love him, but he wasn't an MVP for the entire season, in my opinion. And then who else did you throw at me?
Juan Soto.
Soto. And Soto's a really good player, but the Nationals were never a factor. He's really good. Was he like I feel like he's been better in other seasons. I'm not sure I'm right on that, but I feel like he was.
He has.
So I just don't feel it's very underwhelming MVP race, in my opinion, in the National League, and it's a very overwhelming MVP race in the American League.
100%. I think if Tatis doesn't get hurt, he probably runs away with it since he hit more home runs than Soto and Harper in less games. But obviously the defense is an issue, and I don't know how you can be the most valuable player if you can't play defense. I think it's Harper against all odds because he quietly had a really good year, and it's hard to do it quietly when you're making like $300 million. But he found a way to do it, and I think it's Harper and Ohtani. And I will be super interested in the vote on the American League side because I don't think it's close. I think Ohtani's going to win it by a lot, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think it'll be interesting to see how the voters let that play out.
All right, quick hit here. No way Lane Kiffin goes to Miami. You agree or disagree?
I disagree because Lane Kiffin's done some interesting things. I don't think that Miami's a better job than Ole Miss. It's name recognition. It might be bigger, but it's not in the SEC, so it obviously doesn't mean more. But I think Lane Kiffin should stay put. He's building something, and Miami, I just don't see it.
Miami hasn't been able to figure it out. I think Lane Kiffin loves Miami because it's Miami, you know, and he grew up around football, and I get the idea. The only other thing you could argue about Lane Kiffin going to Miami is the fact that the friction in the ACC is nowhere near what it is in the SEC West and the SEC in total, and the SEC the way it's going to be when you bring Texas and Oklahoma in as well. But I don't think I think Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin are such a good fit right now. I think Mississippi State and Mike Leach are a good fit right now. I think they make those schools relevant, which is kind of cool.
No,
in the SEC.
100%. But Lane Kiffin's done some interesting things, so it wouldn't necessarily put it past me. But, yeah, for his career, I would stay.
And a story to keep an eye on for tomorrow, Antonio Brown, fake vaccination card. We should all be shocked. Antonio Brown, fake vaccination card. Apparently, that's the report, although the team has issued a statement saying we didn't see anything unusual about the vaccination card when we turned it into the NFL.
Oh, boy.
Maybe you guys can talk about that on Action Sports Jax overtime.
We might have to get into that.
Right now on ESPN 690 until 6:30. Of course, later on tonight, we've got the football game on ESPN 690, Patriots and Falcons. And coming up at 7 o'clock, Jaguars All Access from String Sports Brewery right here in Springfield. 7 o'clock on Fox 30. You can watch a football game tonight on Fox 30 as well. We'll do it again tomorrow from Extreme Wing Sports Grill, Roosevelt Boulevard, tomorrow 3 o'clock. Come on out and join us. We'll talk some high school football as well. Get you ready for the weekend. More Jags, more NFL, more college, all tomorrow afternoon. Have a good night, everybody. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz, coming up next. Action Sports Jax, overtime.
Find more ways to Black Friday even earlier at Lowe's. Save $140 on our special Buy GE Colorado Pine Pre-Lit Tree, just $158 compared to $298. Plus, Christmas lights everyday low price starting at $298. Black Friday deals live online Thanksgiving Day. Stores open 6 a.m. Black Friday. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, tree discount taken at time of purchase. Valid through 11/24, U.S. only.
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're celebrating Pork Rind Appreciation Day on the biggest day in football because pork rinds and pigskin just go together. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds has teamed up with Coach Ditka's Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund to salute the legends of the game. Enter for your chance to win $5,000 and a year's supply of low-carb, protein-packed pork rinds at southernrecipe.com. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Visit your local Tractor Supply Company today for your Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Whether you're a rock-solid hard athlete or a hardcore fan, in Little League, a pro, or a weekend warrior, Cora Physical Therapy is here to help you reach your goals. We're happy to announce that Cora is now open in Kingsland, on Boone and Haddock, and we're coming soon to Brunswick. With a total of 17 clinics in the Jacksonville region, there's sure to be one near your home or work. Call or come in today for a free screening. No physician's referral needed. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
Koala, koala, koala insulation. Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jax. Get 2 points for every dollar, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from One-to-One Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Here we go. Action Sports Jax overtime. I'm Casey Kurtz. I've been with you from 3 to 6 with Brent Martineau. Brian Middleton clocking in. What up, Brian?
Hey, man, you putting in work today, aren't you?
A lot of talking, man. A lot of talking. I don't know how Brent does it all the time, TV and whatnot. But it's a lot of talking, and we're doing it for 30 more minutes right here on ESPN 690. We call it overtime. Action Sports Jax overtime. And all of a sudden, there's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on with the Jags and college football and all the things. I know you got something on your mind. We'll get there. Just as we wrapped up Action Sports Jax from 3 to 6 right here on ESPN 690, Brent mentioned Antonio Brown in the news. Are we shocked? Shouldn't be. Because Antonio Brown is being accused of obtaining a fake vaccination card for COVID-19. By the way, we're getting right into it. Okay? No time to waste. Antonio Brown is accused of what I just told you he was accused of, and he's accused of it by his former chef.
Come on, man.
By his former chef.
Come on, man.
I mean, why is that part of the story? Like, if he was accused by, like, I don't know, Bruce Arians, or, like, that's a bad example, or, like, his agent, I'd be like, oh, okay. But not his chef. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's AB. It's probably true then. So that's weird in itself. But the Bucs, obviously AB's been hurt, hasn't played for a bit, but the Bucs released a statement saying, after an extensive educational process conducted throughout our organization this past offseason, highlighting the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccines, we received completed vaccination cards from all Tampa Bay Buccaneers players and submitting the required information to the NFL. All vaccination cards were reviewed by the Buccaneers personnel, and they thought they were good. So what the heck is going on? Is this like a nothing story? Did the Bucs mess this up badly? Is this Aaron Rodgers 2.0? Antonio Brown, what are we doing? Just when we thought we didn't have to worry about Antonio Brown, here he is.
This chef is a snitch. Let me tell you something. I'm reading more into this story. I mean, he is bringing everybody into it. He's bringing in AB's girlfriend.
Oh, my.
He's bringing in the Buccaneers organization. He brought in Tom Brady's Alex Guerrero, helped them develop the TB12 method.
That was a mistake.
This guy wants his money. Apparently, Antonio Brown owes him $10,000. $10,000. That's 4 zeros after the one before the decimal. You know what I would do with $10,000? I would pay off student loans, man. Never mind. But I tell you what.
Yeah.
This guy's a snitch because AB isn't honoring his debts. He says he has receipts too. He has text messages.
How bad? That's bad. Like, if this ends up being true, and I'm not going to I am conspiracy theory guy, though. I just want to make that perfectly clear. Love a good conspiracy theory. But I'm not going to say that the Bucs are in on it. But, man, if this ends up to be true, and it all comes out because he didn't pay his chef 10 G's, I don't know if you know this. Antonio Brown is, like, super rich. He's like a millionaire.
Oh, okay.
So
did he just get there? Has he been a millionaire for a minute?
As long as I've been an adult, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, so he could have probably paid off the 10 G's, I would guess. But this is fascinating. This is fascinating stuff. And the chef, what a snitch. But look, you got to get your money.
AB's net worth, I want you to take a guess.
Did he sign a big deal with the Steelers? Or no, he signed the big deal with the Raiders, right? But that wouldn't have been guaranteed. I know he has a plane, so that's pretty good.
He did a rap video with Rick Ross about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. So, that has to account for 100.
So he's probably part owner of the Thigh Stop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know about Thigh
Yeah,
Stop?
yeah.
I will say AB's net worth is $32 million.
Oh, okay. Give him more credit than he deserves. Apparently, it's estimated at $20 million.
That's
a couple
it?
of different websites. Well, he may not be that smart with his investments. I'm not saying how much he's earned over a career, but how much his net worth right now estimates to be with houses, cars, possessions, money in the bank, things he can actually put his hands on, assets, the way that goes. And his contract, apparently, let's see, 1 year, $6.25 million. This 1 year contract that he signed. He has $10,000. That's what I'm trying to say, Casey.
Yeah, no, he definitely has $10,000. And if you knew that you kind of had this thing, I'll call it a thing, hanging over your head that would get you in like serious trouble for submitting something that's incorrect, because that's a big deal, just pay the dude. Like, I don't care if his food wasn't good or what. You got to pay the man his 10 G's if he knows. Now, granted, did AB know that he knows? I don't know who knew what. Okay, I have no idea. And I'm very fascinated to know if the Bucs knew, because like it or not, the Packers knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaccinated, and they let him do whatever it was he was doing without a mask. He was doing all these interviews. He didn't need no mask. Packers didn't think anything wrong of it. I have not watched all of Antonio Brown's post-game press conferences, mostly because he hasn't played football in a bit. He's been injured to no fault of his own. But we can go back and look, and if he's not wearing a mask and the vaccine card is fake, first of all, that's a different problem. He's done if the vaccine card is fake. But if he duped the Bucs, that's impressive. I'm not going to lie to you. If he duped the Bucs and they think his vaccine card is real and it's not, that's impressive.
Well, now, they needed all of the players to have a vaccination card because why? You don't have to be vaccinated to play, right? You just have a different set of rules if you're not vaccinated, right?
Yeah, correct. But the Bucs were one of the first teams that really bragged about being 100% vaccinated. So you absolutely do not have to be required to have one, but the Bucs were a team that early on, like in training camp, everyone was vaccinated, and you're allowed to not be. What you're not allowed to do is fake it. And you've seen some of these stories on Action News Jax, CBS 47 and Fox 30, of people with fake vaccination cards, and there's like serious punishment. AB probably won't get this punishment because he's AB. But, sometimes you look at the news cycle and you're like, dang, AB hasn't frostbited his feet in a minute. And all of a sudden he's back in.
Here's the deal. People don't like Aaron Rodgers.
No, they don't.
Like, people don't like Aaron Rodgers, but people really don't like Antonio Brown. Now, I think he probably redeemed himself a little bit coming back. Tom Brady and the Bucs taking a chance on him and then helping the team win a Super Bowl. Because he did play a role in that Super Bowl run last year. But people, as much as they did not like Aaron Rodgers, increased that 15-fold. And granted, AB brought a lot of this onto himself. He just did. And for whatever reason, people can say ego. People can say maybe there was something else going on that he hadn't really got situated mentally or emotionally. But he brought a lot of the hate on himself. My point is, if Aaron Rodgers got all of this, pushback from his situation, how much more, even though Antonio Brown has kind of been out of sight, out of mind, how much more will he get more than Aaron Rodgers as far as pushback and hate, and you're a liar, and he should be suspended, and all of this that could potentially be coming his way?
Yeah, he'll get a lot more than Aaron Rodgers, I think. And that's a very good point. More stuff is continuing to come out from Adam Schefter of ESPN. There's now a story on ESPN.com you can read if you so choose, and it's pretty much what we've just told you, but there are some other highlights. NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy told the Times, which is the Tampa Bay Times, shout out to them, that any attempt to use a fake vaccine card could be disciplined under the league's personal conduct policy, Brown also could face legal issues if he used a fake card. Brown missed the Buccaneers' Week 3 loss to the Rams after testing positive for COVID-19 4 days before the game. He was activated the following week, but has since missed the past 3 games with an ankle injury. And as you mentioned earlier, this all comes from the chef, otherwise known as Steven Ruiz. And he has gone so much to say, first of all, card only cost him $500. The fake vaccine card, according to this article.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's, you say only, but $500.
No, it seems like it would have been more expensive, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it for AB. So what this boils down to is this is not going to be a good look, especially if he is found guilty of doing this. The Bucs are going to have some questions to answer. And it's a good point. He should.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
What you got?
Wow. I wasn't familiar with Antonio Brown's girlfriend. So I just clicked on that link and that.
Okay. Yep.
Wow. Former D1 athlete. Track athlete. So, yeah, man. Wow. That being said, what you were saying, AB, this could be really bad for you. I just saw another article. I don't know if we can name another source out here. Well, we can name TMZ. It's played on CBS.
Yeah, go ahead.
Antonio Brown is saying that it's complete BS, that he did not fake his card at all. And so that came in a little bit earlier today as well. So we'll just have to see.
Sorry, I was getting indications that something was wrong with the stream. Looks like we're all good. I don't know what's going on with that, but all good. Yeah, this is interesting. I'll tell you that. And at this point, we don't really know much other than what was said, and AB obviously, of course, denies it. We're going to have to let this play out, but this is a story to follow, especially if the discipline for AB does not follow what it was for Aaron Rodgers. But we'll see. At the end of the day, something is going to happen. So that's how you get through a first segment. A little breaking news, sort of, kind of. Breaking news. We got more to do. Brian's got something on his mind that he wants to get off. We're hoping to be able to give you a live update on Major League Baseball's MVP awards that are being handed out tonight in the American League and the National League. We'll hope for live for that. We'll have to find out if the timing lines up. And we got more to do. We got a weekend to preview. We've also got Thursday night football right here on ESPN 690, Fox 30 as well. And don't be afraid. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Do it at 7. I'm telling you what to do. Fox 30, Jaguars All Access with my guy, Brent Martineau. They're going to do that at 7. We're going to come back on the other side of this break. We got a lot to talk about. Stay with us on ESPN 690.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
Outside the numbers on the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long. Right here on your home for Florida State football.
Sponsored by Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A brief light sprinkle or shower in a few spots this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, dropping into the upper 50s. Partly cloudy, breezy, and turning cooler Friday. We reach the low 70s through the early afternoon and then falling temperatures. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Action Sports Jax. We call it OT, overtime, ESPN 690, the home for that, the home for Action Sports Jax as well, the home for so many things. And guess what? I'm going to tell you what they are. The Florida State Seminoles, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, Westwood One's coverage of Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night football. Major League Baseball playoffs, they were here as well. So, as far as I understand it, there's a lot going on ESPN 690, so we think you should just stay locked all the time. There's no real other reason to not be on ESPN 690 that comes to my mind, unless you happen to be watching Action Sports Jax on TV, of course. A lot of shows, including one coming up at 7. Jaguars All Access, Brent Martineau will be at String Sports Brewery. He was there all day today from 3 to 6 for Action Sports Jax, the flagship show of ESPN 690, the thing that keeps everybody working. Brent was there. Our guy, Austin Lane, he's out right now. He is preparing for a fight in the MMA that he's going to, I'm going to just tell you right now, he's going to get it done.
I'm saying, why do they keep stepping in the ring to this man?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not even really fair.
It's not. It's a bad business decision for whoever gets in the ring with him, or in the cage with him. And they're going to find that out again on Sunday in Houston. That'll be on UFC Fight Pass, by the way. Huge fight for Austin in his career, so we're going to be supporting. We hope you do too, and we appreciate you listening to us, by the way, right here on ESPN 690. We call it overtime, and we got Thursday night football coming up. We're waiting to see if we can figure out who the MVPs are going to be in Major League Baseball, but Antonio Brown, obviously a big story right now, apparently has a fake vaccination card. He's been accused of it. Has not been found guilty, if you will. So we're going to have to let that story play out. We'll definitely talk about it tomorrow from 3 to 6. But like I said, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday Night Football, all right here on ESPN 690. Monday Night Football. Brian's got something on his mind about Monday Night Football. And I'm excited for it because if you follow the show from 3 to 6, you would know that on Monday I watched Dancing with the Stars. So I didn't watch football on Monday night. So I really, on my fantasy, it was either I was winning by a ton or losing by a ton. There was no point to watch. So I was out of it. I was watching JoJo Siwa and the squad on Dancing with the Stars. So I'm very interested to see what Brian has to say. So, Brian, without any further ado, please tell me what's on your mind.
Yeah, man. First of all, Adele on Sunday night and then Dancing with the Stars on Monday night, right?
Yeah, let me tell you something.
I like your lineup, man.
Let me tell you something.
Live your truth.
I have
King,
to.
Live your truth, King.
Adele is so good. So good. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, listen, I know this is about Monday Night Football. I wish it was a bit more timely, but the way our show is set up right now, Casey, I got to get it in when I can. So can you please have the LA Rams defense please come to the front of the class, please? Thank y'all. Make some room, 53 of them at least. Got to come up to the front. Thank y'all. Okay, here's the deal. I'm having a horrendous go at it in fantasy football this season.
You are.
Going into Week 10, I had a 3-6 record and was facing one of the top teams in the league. But going into Monday Night Football, I actually had a lead and one more play. The Rams defense. My opponent,
that's right,
like I said, is ranked near the top of the league, had one more play too.
Hey, your opponent, by the way, was, we can't say his fantasy name, but it was that person, right?
Oh, man, yeah, he's wilding. He is tripping. Yeah, that one right there.
That's my guy, Jared Pinto. What up?
Yeah, Jared. Creative name, but boy, whew. Anyway, he had one more play, a wide receiver, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
South Carolina's finest, and apparently the Rams' kryptonite. Now, I don't understand what's going on. We all know the Rams lost the game 31-10, and it really wasn't that close because I did watch a lot of the game.
I didn't.
But this vaunted Rams defense was straight boo-boo. They let Jimmy G pick them apart, 15-19 for like 190 yards. He even hit a couple of TDs. Then they let Deebo Samuel just have a field day. He was averaging nearly 20 yards a catch, Casey, 20 yards a catch. He caught a touchdown. And if that wasn't enough, he was all up in the backfield, scoring a touchdown too. The Rams defense couldn't stop nothing. Not Aaron Donald, not Jalen Ramsay, not the player formerly known as Von Miller. Deebo Samuel was putting up Cooper Kupp fantasy level points in that game. He had like 30.3 points. Cooper Kupp wasn't putting up Cooper Kupp numbers in that game. Rams defense, I need y'all to listen up to me right now, okay? Y'all listening? Open up your ears. My cousin always tells me that his side chick doesn't need a watch, nor will he ever buy her one. And you want to know why? You want to know why, Casey?
I do. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says it's because there's a clock on the stove. Now, as sexist as that statement is, and it is, his overall point is that if his mistress wants to know what time it is, she can find out as she prepares dinner. She's resourceful. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, Rams defense, that's my plea to you. Be like my cousin Sneaky Link. Be resourceful, okay? Double Deebo next time you see him. Triple team him if you have to. I don't care if it's on the field, in the locker room, walking out of Popeyes. I don't care. Just stop making him look like Jerry Rice's illegitimate son. I met Jerry Rice's son when I was in Arizona. He was playing high school ball there.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, listen, Deebo, he's good, but y'all just made him look like next level. Needless to say, I didn't win last week's matchup, and I'm now 3-7 on the season, and I may burn down this whole league.
Yeah, I need you to because I need Kyler Murray from your team, and I'm going to make it fair. But yeah, 3-7 is not going to do it in the division where I'm 7-3, and my guy Jared Pinto also 7-3. So that's what was on your mind, and that was interesting. I never know where you're going to go, but it always makes me laugh. I have more breaking news.
Wow. Okay. I feel like I need a breaker or something to play a sound effect.
Yeah, I know.
All right, go ahead.
We don't usually do a lot of breaking news from 3 to, like, stuff doesn't break from 3 to 6, or like I'm not paying attention. One of the two, and then somebody else tells me, like, "Hey, this happened. Why weren't you paying attention?" I'm like, I don't know.
Fair.
I was, on my phone, not paying attention, watching Dancing with the Stars replays. I don't know. Anyway, we know who the National League MVP is.
Wait, before you start.
Okay.
What takes so long with baseball? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know why, like, the way that the voting is done, like, writers vote and whatnot, so, like, it takes time to, like, count them, but, like, it shouldn't take this long.
Okay.
Because nobody even really remembers anymore. Like, this won't, I mean, I don't even know. Okay, SportsCenter did tweet it, but, like, nobody's even worried about baseball right now. There's literally football on tonight, and that takes the cake over the best player in baseball, according to the writers in the American League and National League. So we know who the National League MVP is, and we know it officially. And that would be one 29-year-old from Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a baseball fan, you already know who it is. But if you're not, I'm going to keep you guessing. That would be the Rookie of the Year. A former Rookie of the Year, I should say. That would be a 6-time All-Star. That would be a 2-time Silver Slugger winner. Any guesses? Brian, you don't have to guess. But I'm just talking to the people that can't answer me. That would be the guy who on March 2nd of 2019, became incredibly rich, and that is Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is your 2021, right? 2021?
Yeah.
2021 National League MVP. And man, has Bryce Harper been through some things. He goes to Philly and signs a huge deal, and in his first season, hits 35 home runs, drives in 114, and only hits 260. And all of a sudden, here we go. He wasn't worth the money. This and that. Okay, fine, whatever. You go to the COVID-shortened season, and he wasn't very good. 13 and 33 in only 58 games is not great. He did walk a lot, which is promising. He only hit 268, but it was getting better. This year, things changed for Bryce Harper. He still hit 35 home runs. He only drove in 84 runs, but that was because of lineup position and whatnot. He hit 308. He slugged 615. His OPS was 1.044, which is very good if you don't know. OPS plus 179, 300 total bases. Dude was really, really good all season long for a Philly team that just they couldn't get it done when they had to. Had a WAR, by the way, 5.9. So Bryce Harper is your National League MVP for the season, and I have no arguments with it. I usually do. I don't. And there's no real reason to sit around and wait for the AL MVP announcement because it's going to be Shohei Ohtani, and we know that information.
Okay, you got inside information. You talk to some of the writers or the voters or something like that?
No, it's just obvious.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll get done. Bryce Harper, congratulations for being the MVP. Phillies fans, non-Phillies fans, I should say, calm down. Guy is doing okay.
So what I find it interesting before we hit this break is that it sounds like the Phillies didn't have the best year, according to what you just said from your statement.
Yeah, they could have. They tried. They tried to make moves at the deadline. They couldn't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And the Braves won a division with the least amount of wins in the playoffs and obviously won the World Series.
We're coming back on the other side of this break. That's a question.
We are.
Okay. I want you to think about this. So when you talk about certain sports, when you're talking about the MVP, things like the NBA, NFL, Heisman, usually got to have a team that's really, really good. Like maybe not the champion, usually in the championship game or right around that realm.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it sounds like, the Phillies, they tried hard. They're getting paid to try, but they still had the MVP on their squad. Yep. So is that just a difference in baseball? And if so, why? I want to hear that answer on the other side of this break, Casey.
I can do that for you. And I can also tell you on the other side of the break what happened to the UNF volleyball squad. Those girls are so good. And it was scary early on with Lipscomb in the quarterfinal of the ASUN Championship. We'll tell you about that. As well as I'll answer Brian's question, I promise, on the other side. Action Sports Jax Overtime, ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
Men suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center is featuring Restore Wave, the latest in non-invasive ED treatment. You'll see results on your first visit or pay nothing. Call 904-618-3497. That's 904-618-3497.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Just be confident.
Community First makes smarter banking simple so you can relax, knowing you're managing your money the right way. Yours. Visit justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Action Sports Jax overtime right here on ESPN 690. We're almost out of here. We got a couple more things we got to hit on. I'm going to answer Brian's question as well. However, going to start right here. UNF volleyball, the Ospreys. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, listen. They get it done today in the quarterfinal of the ASUN Championship. It was dicey now. They lost that first set. 25-16 did not look good. I'm not a volleyball connoisseur. I was a problem, though. I was a problem. You get me on the volleyball court, it's a problem, okay?
Knock it off, Casey.
No, I tell you right now, it's a problem.
Stop lying to people, man.
I tell you right now, it was a problem. It was not good in the first set. Hard-fought second set, they win it. Hard-fought third set, they win it. They say, you know what? We're sick of this hard-fought stuff. Let's just win they kill them in the fourth set. They win 3-1. Lipscomb. Goodbye, UNF on to the semifinals in volleyball.
And
good.
You know, Casey.
Yeah.
Because you were talking off of the break how good the team has been, recently, and it hasn't always been like that. And, you know, reading the release from yesterday where they announced some of the first team All-ASUN players. We had two from the Ospreys, and then one of the players made the freshman team. I think her name was like Annie Antar or something like that. Annie Antar. And then they also had the two-time ASUN Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what's going on with UNF having the Defensive Player of the Years, but as far as the player off of the basketball team for the women's squad, she won last year, and she's coming in as the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. And now you have the first Osprey to win the ASUN Defensive Player of the Year honors for 2 straight years. Rosia Moro. I believe I said her name right. Apologies if I did not. But yeah, I'm with you all the way, man. Good job. Congratulations, ladies.
And they got more games to win, but it's always good to get out of the first round because teams with expectations, which by the way, in the volleyball world they did. UNF is very good. It's tough to win that first round matchup sometime. They felt that in the second set, but they get it done overall. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jax, overtime right here on ESPN 690. And I'm going to answer your question, and it was a good one, and it more or less, if you weren't here on the front side of this break, was why can the right fielder for the Phillies, a team that didn't make the playoffs, win the most valuable player in the league, but in the NBA, you pretty much need to be LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did I say his name right, by the way? It's the first time I've said it. I committed
Some people put the accent in different places. I've heard Giannis say it, and I'm like, I can never say it the way he says it. So sure, they know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was just going to say Giannis because everyone knew what I was talking about. I was like, look,
commit.
My parents raised me to be fearless.
Hey, and that's respectful too. Say my first and last name. I'm an MVP.
Exactly. So I went for it.
You could have said Steph Curry. Just made it easy on yourself though.
Oh, nah, it's okay. No, Steph Curry's fine. But here's the answer to your question. And in football, the same thing. Obviously, the quarterback is usually the MVP. Here's why Bryce Harper can win the MVP and not make the playoffs. Because there's 9 guys on the field, and in basketball, there's 5 guys on the court. So, and the way that baseball works, you hit 3 times a night, you play the field. No one cares about the fielding, let's be honest. But you only hit 3 times a night, 4 times sometimes, and you only really have 4 chances to score a run. How many times is Giannis or Steph or LeBron or anybody in the NBA, how many times are they going to touch the ball at night if they're an MVP candidate? Heck, Julius Randle's not an MVP candidate. He touches the ball every single play for the Knicks. So when you have those opportunities like you do in the NBA, or if you're the quarterback, you're going to throw it 400 times in a season, you have the incredible amount of opportunities to make plays and give yourself and your team a chance to win, because you can immediately impact that. In baseball, it's a little different because one person, it's been proven 1,000 times, one person cannot make a team a playoff team in baseball. The right acquisition can in the offseason, but Bryce Harper cannot make the other guys in the Phillies lineup hit the baseball. He can have them get better pitches if you're hitting in front or behind him, but he can't go to JT Realmuto, who is a great player. He can't go to anybody else on the Phillies, Rhys Hoskins. I can't even think of their infielders right now for some reason, but he can't make them be able to hit the baseball better. Giannis, or a basketball player, if you're LeBron, you almost can, because the attention that LeBron draws, somebody's open. Anthony Davis is open. Giannis is just a freak, and he just barrels through people. But if he barrels through people and he sees somebody open in the corner, you're going to hit it. You're giving him a wide open shot. So I just think in those sports, same in hockey. I know you didn't ask, but it's the same thing. 5 on the ice at hockey at time, and you can do some incredible things to impact the game immediately in that sport. In baseball, you need help. That's just how it is. So that's how I would answer your question. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's how I would answer it.
I mean, sure, you have more insight than me. All I know is, if I remember correctly, just being a casual observer of the MLB, Bryce Harper, he might put up the stats and have the numbers, but has he won anywhere? This is the same Bryce Harper that left the Nationals, and then the Nationals won it all.
Yes.
Like, as soon as he left. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
I guess I'm just confused on that angle, even though you've cleared it up. Like, he only can do so much. One player can only do so much in baseball as opposed to basketball. I guess football would be a little bit more better kind of correlation, even though as a quarterback, you probably have the ball in your hand way more than any one player other than a pitcher in baseball. So,
yeah, no, but this is the same Bryce Harper. Has he ever won big? No, he has not. But this is his second MVP, so it kind of depends on how you look at it. And
can he be the best player on a championship team?
Well, it's a great question. I think he proved that he couldn't, because he was the best player on the Washington Nationals. He left. They got, from a talent perspective, they got worse.
And they won
immediately. And look, Bryce Harper is a polarizing figure in baseball. I mean, he is as close in baseball. If anybody tells you this answer is Mike Trout, they're lying to you. Bryce Harper is as close to anyone in baseball as LeBron James. Here's how I'm going to put it to you. Remember the Zion hype?
Right.
Since high school.
Okay.
That was Bryce Harper.
Wow.
He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in high school.
Wow.
Okay. So living up to what he's had to live up to is nearly impossible. And him just as a person and as a figure, he's different. It's just a different breed. I hate to say it that way, but it's just he's different. That's all it is. So to deal with everything he's had to deal with in his career, and he gets compensated well, so that's part of it. But I don't know if he's the best player on a championship-winning team. He proved that he wasn't, but now he's trying to prove that he is with the Phillies. The Phillies have some good pieces, but he is as close to a LeBron James, Zion Williamson. There's not really an equation in football, somebody that you knew was going to be good since they were like 10 years old. That's Bryce Harper, and he's had to live with that his entire life. Mike Trout was not like that. Mike Trout got called up, and some people may forget he struggled a lot and then won the Rookie of the Year the next year because he didn't have enough at-bats. And he wouldn't have won it the first year because he was not any good. Bryce Harper, though, is the National League MVP. We haven't heard from the American League yet, but that's all right, but we're out of time either way. So we're guessing it's Shohei Ohtani, but we'll have to find out tomorrow from 3 to 6 on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau will be at Extreme Wings. I'll be here. We'll be chatting. We'll be making picks. We'll be doing the things. Brent right now is about to do a TV show in 20 minutes. You can find that on Fox 30, Jaguars All Access. He'll be doing that from 7 to 7:30. And then right here, as well as Fox 30 at 8 o'clock, we'll start coverage for Thursday Night Football. That'll be Mac Jones and the Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's a high-scoring game, as I mentioned, from 3 to 6. I think the Patriots win. I think they cover the spread. Brian Middleton, who's winning the game?
Patriots all the way.
They cover in the spread. That means, are they winning by 7?
They're winning by 14.
So, yeah, they're covering the spread. You heard it here first. We're done on overtime. We'll be back with you on Monday. I'll have something on my mind guaranteed. We'll be talking about a Jags. Win or loss, Brian Middleton?
It depends. It's Deebo Samuels. I see that he may be there. He may not. So
he should play.
Okay, yeah. It's going to be a loss. It's going to be a good game though. It's going to be close. And then at the end, in the press conference, we're going to hear that, hey man, we're close. We're getting there. But it'll be another loss. It'll be loss number 8 for the Jags.
All right, you heard it from him. I won't give you what I think, but you can hear that tomorrow from 3 to 6 as we pick the game. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about an FSU win over Boston College. We're going to talk about a Florida Gators loss to Missouri. We're going to talk about all kinds of things that happened over the weekend. We'll do that Monday at 6 o'clock. Join us tomorrow. Join us Monday. Join us on TV. We're everywhere. Fox 30, CBS 47, ESPN 690. Appreciate you. Have a great night.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be